This is The Extra Sheep, the unofficial Age of Empires 4 podcast hosted by myself, Socerton, along with Beale and the one and only Sir Nevels. How are we doing today, guys?
Excellent. Excellent.
Sir Nevels has like the hardest week of his life, then goes, excellent, I'm great, I'm doing great.
We're back with the boys, man. The boys, man, y'all pick me up when I'm down. I'm good.
Yeah, we weren't sure if Sir Nevels would make it this week. He was, he's had some, suffice to say, he's had some challenges in his own life he's had to work through. He's had some stuff pop up, and we weren't sure. We were going to excuse him this week, but then he surprised us all this morning in Discord and be like, hey, fellas, we still on? And I was like, of course we're still on, Sir Nevels. And so here he is. We're really glad to have him in with us today.
Can't get rid of me, man.
No, we can't. We can't. We've been trying to get him. We have a restraining order in place, but he just keeps coming in. So,
dude, you should have gave me the admin role in the Discord, man. I'm never leaving.
Man, so I want to acknowledge something first for this episode. By the time this episode is live, or at least by the time most people listen to it, the expansion will be live. We are recording this on Sunday, November 5th. So, full disclosure to anyone listening, we have not seen the update yet. So we're like still super excited. By the time you guys are listening to this, you'll probably just kind of diving into Byzantines right now already. But yeah, we're really excited. It's so close. I wish it had come out this weekend, honestly. Tuesday, just
that'd be amazing. That'd be overload of content.
Yeah, I think I nailed it a couple weeks ago when I mentioned why. I think it's because they release it Tuesday, and then they can do like a hot fix, but
Socerton, it's next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday? It's not this 14th. Tuesday? Oh!
No.
Wait.
Yeah, I was going to try to throw that in there.
Yeah, because I just like froze.
I was like, you sure I can listen to it?
I was getting so hyped, dude, that it was this week. Goodness.
Sorry, man.
14,
you got another
14.
week.
Here I was like, I thought it was this. It's not the. Oh, wait. It's the 14th.
No, it's the 14th.
I had it in my mind it was like the 7th. Dang it, dude. Okay, well.
Oh, yeah.
I almost want to restart the episode, but we're just going to leave it. You guys, I have been so hyped. I tried like bending time for you guys. Okay, I tried. It didn't work. Dang it!
Dude, you had me. I was just like, oh wow, it is Tuesday, and then I had to.
No,
there's no way. I have to look this up and confirm.
I was like, wait a minute, I gotta take off because I'm taking work off that day, dude. I'm going in, boy.
Yeah, maybe I should. It's so close to Thanksgiving break, though. I mean, we're so close to the holiday right there. Dang,
the hype around that game. This game is. I'm gonna say. I think it's gonna skyrocket to 14.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to talk about is I think the game is already skyrocketing a little bit. Yeah, I have no numbers to prove this. I have no numbers, but I have just getting the vibe. Like I have another brother-in-law who is now playing. I played the game with him the first time yesterday.
Jeez, dude, you getting the whole thing.
I know. And the funny thing is American Jeremy. It's American Jeremy's little brother. So he actually reached out to him, and it's them connecting to get that. And then American Jeremy, my wife, and I hopped in. We're doing some 2v2s against each other.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
It was a fun time because Jeremy's about getting close to my level, and then my wife is Rini Roo, love her to death, but she doesn't play the game enough to be good at the game. But Timokin is his gamer tag. He's been playing a little bit and got into it. So it was him and Jer against it was him and I versus American Jeremy and my wife. We figured that my wife had a little bit more experience, and we won both times. But the second time they double teamed me. American Jeremy did, and my wife. And to Timokin's credit, I don't even think he listens to the podcast. I don't think he knows about it yet, but he saved me, guys. He like sent just enough of a little English army to push them back for me to go for my 3TC Abba Boom. So the game is popular, guys. People are coming to the game.
Oh yeah. I mean, think about it, man. This expansion. I mean, you look at like just how economically respectful it is for $15 and all this content. Mm-hmm. Come on, man. You got this. One thing I'll say about the Age of Empires, developing squad, they know how to win back the community. Like they're doing really good. I mean, because this I would have easily paid $25, $30 for this expansion. I mean, maybe that's a problem with me, but I wouldn't even argue it. I would have thought it'd at least be $20, $25. I mean, the fact that it's $15, which is that's a reasonable price, and it comes with all this packed in. I mean, and I like how they rolled it out too, with all just pretty much every week. Like it kind of kept us on our heels until it fully, until it's going to come out. Just every week, kind of just doing like a slow drip, like an IV drip of content.
Yeah,
that we could talk about for that week. I like it.
I don't know what we're going to do when we get our hands on all of the stats and information in the patch notes. I mean, it's going to be the longest episode ever, or we're just going to have to actually pace ourselves. Like, I don't know how else we're going to do it.
I hear that AoE4 World already has that information. They're ready to like push it live once it comes out.
I want that information. Wait a minute. So is AoE4 World official now? What's going on here? I mean, kudos to them. I mean, full stop. AoE4 World is awesome. But they're independent, though, as far as I knew. Like Microsoft, Microsoft should have made something like what they have.
Most definitely.
But yeah. Wow.
I may be. That might not be 100% true. They're just rumors that I've heard.
I want to believe it though. I
imagine they're at least ready for the infrastructure on that website is probably ready to go regardless. Like they know they've got to know that's coming, and I'm sure the devs talk. I'd be really surprised they didn't. How much they know, I would be speculating, I guess, but still. I
want them to hire them to do like in-game leaderboards. I know that would probably kind of nerf AoE4 World, but just like, dude, get them on payroll and have them just manage the in-game leaderboards with all because the interface of AoE4 World
is so good.
It's so good.
And like an in-game wiki too. Like
this
Civilization had Civilopedia. They can put all that stuff in game. Yeah.
If you put this in game, this will make everything just so accessible. I think AoE4 World needs to be picked up and become the official leaderboard tracker of AoE4.
While we're at it, 100%. If you want to pay us, Microsoft, as well, to keep promoting this awesome game of yours, which we've been doing for almost a year now, by all means.
I'll sell out.
They know we'll still do this if they don't pay us.
Exactly. They're like, oh, dude,
still gonna be here.
Free promo, no problem.
I mean, I would honor an NDA. I'd honor an NDA, but you got to give. I mean, I think the point of a podcast like this is you're trying to hype up the game. You got to give us like a tidbit to share that's exclusive every now. You got to give you got to drip out some hype material, right? Like, got to.
I will sell out tomorw. Microsoft starts sending us.
I would be a total sell. If you've already heard ads on this thing, anyone who hears ads on Spotify from this thing, I'm sorry. We only get paid we've only gotten $10 from that in total. So I almost want to just turn it off. It's not even worth it. But I'm a total sellout, man. If I can make money off it, I totally would. I've got kids. I gotta feed a family. You know, it's like that old joke. Like what's the difference between a pizza and a musician?
A pizza can feed a family.
Yep. I have a pianist. I have a pianist. She's a really nice friend, a lifelong friend of my wife and I's, and she is a music major, like full on concert pianist. She's amazing, but she tells that joke all the time, and it's just absolutely funny. But anyways, so yeah, I'm a sellout. I'll just own it. You know.
You got to.
But no one's sold me out yet, so we're still independent and
we're just waiting. We're just waiting to sell out any moment. Click the button. We're waiting.
All right. So today's episode, now that I know that we have a week of buffer, gosh, I really thought it was this Tuesday. I thought our episode was going to be immediately out of date because everyone's going to have all the patch notes. But now you got a whole week to listen to us to recap this season and to talk about what's coming up. We do have some new stuff to talk about. But first, let's talk about some AoE news. Besides that, Age of Empires just had, or I guess it was EGC TV just had their was it Empire Wars of Empire? What is it actually called? I keep messing up the name.
Empires at War.
Empires at War. The finals for that concluded this morning. I was catching it, guys. Marine Lord. Can we talk about him? For anyone who doesn't know, he swept 3DB. I think it was a sweep. Was it 6-0 or 5-0? I think it was a 5-0 sweep.
5 zilch.
I don't think there's a single man or woman or child alive who is better at a mirror match in AoE4 than Marine Lord. When it comes to a mirror, there was a couple mirror matches. I think it was like 2 or 3 in a row towards the end, where it's just mirror match, and you're never going to get an edge on Marine Lord when it's just down to pure micro and build.
He's a maniac.
The dude's just too good.
Dude, did you? Okay, I actually watched the second game. I believe it was Kaiwa-san and Marine Lord. Let me see. I gotta get a quick recap here. I think Marine Lord had. Oh my god, I just had it up, but it was Mongols, I believe, versus Marine Lord's HRE, and it's actually something about my extra sheet. A question I'm gonna pose my extra sheet, but Marine Lord went with HRE and he actually lost water, both ponds to 3DB, and you even watch the casters, they're pretty much writing the game off. Dude, this maniac went into Imp before, still without water, went into Imp before B. And dude, B had both sacred sites, both ponds, had him completely surrounded. he managed to keep his economy alive enough to hit Imperial before B and then pushed him completely off both waters and like completely other side. Like, I have never seen a comeback. Like, I thought it was over. And I think that really took the win out of B's sale. Like, I think he literally was like, dude, like, because B didn't play bad at all. He played actually great. But Marine Lord, like, this dude's a cheat. I think the person that could probably beat him is Beastie.
Even then, man, it's gonna, depending on the matchup, depending on the spawn, I wouldn't hold it past either of them to win. I think Beastie has beaten Marine Lord in a couple tournaments before, but it's always a split decision. It's never a sweep. I mean, I think
is that good for the pro scene of AoE 4? I mean, like, I feel like it's either one or the other. I mean, I know Lucifer won the last one, but like,
I mean, you got some other names. I mean, 3DB has one. The problem B is I mean, these are all just absolutely exceptional players. They all have their. I mean, I would say they all have different things they're better at, right? And Beastie will even admit this. I think on some of his streams, like he'll like talk about some of the matchups. Like Marine Lord, when it comes to like actual micro and actual just down to earth, like managing your civilization, he is, I think, the best at that. When it comes, especially when it comes to like any kind of microing and managing like his units and playing the battles out, no one is better than him. He just has the APM to do. It feels like everything. Now, 3DB is the kind of guy, though, who can get off meta. He can play off meta. He can play and he can do some really cool things that strategically, I think 3DB has an edge in that he can throw something at, like a bit of a curveball strategically at you and you won't know how to react or might not be able to keep up with it. Whereas then Beastie's kind of your all around. I think he's the macro guy I think of, where he is just, decision making is probably a 10 out of 10. This guy, he's really fast, really quick, good reaction time. And his game plan is usually really solid, and he can usually weather the weird changes that like B throws at him. But yeah, Marine Lord,
they're amazing.
It's insane, dude.
It sounds like there are different species of gamers than me. Like, I'm like, dude.
Yeah, I definitely wonder like how long would I have to play, and would I ever even come close to that level, even if I played as much as they played? Like, would I think I could get a diamond.
You have to abandon your family. You have to abandon your family. Like, it's terrible. Like, you have to literally go, like, it would have to become like your full-time job to like be even close to them. And I don't think even still, like, it's almost like how we view pro athletes. It's like, yeah, we could maybe like say you want to be like, I don't know, Kyrie Irving, and like, you get in the gym every day and you shoot around and you do like you put in so much work. You got Mamba mentality, and then you just still like you think you're ready and you watch them do something. You're like, what? Like, are these guys human? Like no way. I don't know how much brain activity. I'm telling them, they're all on Adderall.
That is not confirmed, by the way. Someone messaged me about that, about talking about, I might pull it up. I think I don't think I respond. I don't usually respond to personal messages in Reddit. I think someone sent me like a message talking about how like there are things that people take for like adrenaline use and to keep them like more calm and to keep them from like getting stressed out. And they do it for like musicians do it a lot too. And apparently it's like there's a number of things. And so they wondered if that might apply. But I mean, again, all speculative on whether or not any kind of performance enhancing anything are used. But
that's me making a blank, like just a blind statement shouting into the air. I mean, it could be 100%. It could be just well hydrated. Who knows? But what I'm trying to it's just insane. Like, dude,
balanced breakfast.
Exactly, a nice balanced breakfast. They included everything they need. They tried to make. What if they're just healthy? Like, what if they're just like something's not right, dude?
Nothing against Beastie, but I don't look at that guy and go, yeah, that dude's super duper healthy. Just saying, they're gamers. They're gamers.
He eats well. I watch.
Yeah.
Like maybe the key is being hydrated.
It looks like he goes out and runs 20 miles every day. I mean, neither do I anymore.
I think he's be a cyclist. I think he's about ride bikes. I think he's be a cyclist. Like,
I can see that. Okay, I can see that. Hey, riding a bike is a good way to get some good cardio in there. That is really good.
You never know. Maybe we have to figure out these.
Maybe we all need to hit the gym and we all need to get swole, and then we'll just be absolute gamers. That's
with a slight pinch of Adderall, and you're set.
My drug of choice is usually caffeine.
Yeah, there you go, man. At least we need something. We need like maybe like I've been hearing about like I've been watching some podcasts. They're really big on like and I'm not condoning this, but some type of like these like mental like mushrooms. Like they're like something like really put you like at ease. Not the full shrooms like high schoolers like eating out the plastic bag. These are like medical graded like literally like cognitive mushrooms. Okay, like, and I don't call them shrooms. They call them something else. because shrooms aren't the psychedelic drug. It's not a psychedelic. They're different types, but I'm hearing that those are like really calming and they keep your blood pressure low and keep everything anxiety low. They're doing something, dude. Because I play a game against a Platinum 2, and I'm like, this guy's a king. This guy's a god. And they play Platinum 2s, dude, and they're literally like eating breakfast and talking to their loved ones while they're playing with one hand. I was like, what? And I'll be going full engaged. But yeah, that's all alleged. They're not. They're probably just hydrated. Excuse me.
They're probably just hydrated and getting sleep, and they're probably yeah. I don't know if any of them have kids or anything.
Going to the gym really helps. I need to get back to the gym because I know like every time I go work out, come home, like cool down a little bit, and then sit down to play, my brain is like completely clear.
I was
my
just
mind
the
is
same
clear.
thing.
I'm not thinking about like 10 million different things. I'm able to focus right on the game. Also, you're talking about like taking something to make sure you're not overthinking things and you're calm in the moment. I swear, between the first and the second beer, if I sit down and have a couple of beers, right in that zone, right before
it hits,
it's just like
I agree.
Like this 30-minute window where it's like, okay, all right,
I can relate to that.
I'm like not overthinking things. I'm kind of in the zone, and it's right before I start to lose cognitive function.
That's when I sneak in and go, hey, Beale, let's 1v1.
Hey, Beale, you know, I realized, okay, listen, I'm not condoning you never drink and drive. That's against law. But you ever had that point where, like, maybe you're at the bar, you might have had, like, one or two. So now you're like, you get in a vehicle and you're like, okay, now that I've had this, I got to make sure I do extra well at driving. Like, you are almost a better driver because now you're more paying attention more to like driving.
You're super alert to like
maybe that translates over to Age of Empires. Maybe like, okay, I had a couple, maybe I need to like really lock in here. So I don't like, maybe like you do the flip thing, you almost reverse reverse psychology, your mind and thinking harder. Yeah, but not stressful.
That sounds like you're compensating at that point, Sir Nevels.
I don't know. I'm trying to
it's more of getting that calming thing.
Exactly.
Start to lose brain power.
That's funny because like Adderall
is like AOE like I'm gonna get arrested.
Adderall is like
there's a fine limit.
It's interesting. Adderall is a stimulant for a lot of people, and then alcohol would be like a depressant technically, as far as like what the actual drugs do. So that's interesting. How I'm curious, like because people who actually have ADD. Adderall would act as a depressant, then it focuses them in. But for people who don't have it, it would be a stimulant. Whereas alcohol would be just always a depressant in general. So I'm more curious, you know, so like that drug doesn't necessarily, I mean, for someone who doesn't have ADD or ADHD and taking that drug, it's going to stimulate them more than calm them down and focus them in.
Listen, boys, the 14th, I'm getting ripped on streaming, playing new DLC and see how I play. See how this happens.
Just every week, it's a different drug. It's like, okay, maybe this. Okay, maybe this.
We're going to try this. I found this on eBay. I found it. Some guy around the corner gave it to me. See
Again, the extra sheep does not condone any performance-enhancing drugs, any kind of negative health. We do condone hydration, though, that we do think that's
hydration.
Hydration, very good. In fact, I really need to... Actually, when we take a break, eventually I'm going to go get a glass of water. I actually don't have any water with me right now.
Oh, yeah, we need that too. You're right.
I'm like, I'm starving right now. I'm so hungry. Anyways, we're getting a little off topic here. But yeah, it was a crazy Empires at War. Crazy. I think it was an exceptionally fun tournament to watch. And, you know, they had one of the maps was Warring Islands, of all things.
I liked it.
And honestly, that was one of the fastest, most high-paced games that there was. I mean, it was surprisingly fun to watch. I really hope we get more like this. I know it's kind of off meta, but the pace of action is just so much quicker with that game mode. And I gotta be honest, I think I prefer playing Dark Age, just a normal game. But man, for every now and then, I hope they do like one tournament like that a year, because it is a fun mode. Yeah. I'd love to see like a Nomad as well kind of tournament. Like there'd be some fun things you get to see.
I'd like to see them do like one, because they announced that they're going to do another series of 3 tournaments in the spring. So every season that they have, I think one of those tournaments should be some weird off meta thing, because they had, I can't remember what it was called during Golden League.
They had a lot of
the extra villagers.
12 villagers.
Yeah, all that stuff. I'd like for them to keep experimenting, like have a normal tournament, then have kind of a weird one, and then, you know, maybe another normal after that.
I think that is Golden League. I think Golden League is kind of like the weird one because they had like one round was no stone towers, no stone. It was like 12 villagers. And like then it was like the last one's like off meta. Like you had to play like Delhi on like
it ended up being just like a million like
map.
It was
weird, but it was good. It was good. I like that.
I think Empires at War was fun because the game mode was different, but the civ choice and the general like metas weren't that crazy different. It just opened the door to different metas that felt like, I feel like I used the word meta wrong here, but like it opened the door to different metas that still felt very in line with what civs wanted to do normally, but it just kind of changed the timing of it. So some things were more viable than they used to be. It was a really good change of pace.
I was happy to see Golden Gate be the main Roost landmark from Empire Wars, because you didn't really need a Kremlin, like just because like the Golden Gate just proved to be better like in the feudal age than the Kremlin. So Golden Gate, I still believe is such a wonderful landmark.
Yeah,
and I just it gets so disrespected, but I was happy to see that back in the meta for Empire Wars.
All right, so we have some other news too. They announced kind of a summary of the patch of what's coming in here for the next season, and included in that, one of the things I know a lot of people were very excited about was an addition of about 10 new maps to the game.
Yes.
Now we're going to go through each of these maps and kind of give a description and talk about and give some of our initial takeaways, because this is something I think we can actually give some talk about. Like, we haven't seen the maps entirely, but I think given the portraits what we have, we can kind of take a look and get an idea of what's coming. So the first one we'll talk about is I actually am kind of interested to see how this one plays out, is African Waters. In fact, I'll probably open up the page on. I've got I think our outline. I've got the images, but I've also the write-ups are in the actual website. So I'm going to take a look here at that. Where is that hiding actually?
This is really interesting because I don't know where the starting TCs are going to be.
Yeah.
As I was going through this the first time, like I saw the sacred sites and I was like, oh, that's where TCs start. But that's not the case at all. They could be closer to the center on water, or they could be like back in the corner.
I mean, the African. So let's talk about for all these. Yeah, we don't know the TCs are placed. Some of them are obvious. Some of them aren't. The first one here is African Waters. To look at it, it looks like there's kind of two bodies of water on the edge of the maps on east and west. North and south, I see grouped up together as two gold and stone, and then the sacred sites in the corners, northwest, southwest, east. And there's no idea where the TCs go. There's kind of some trees scattered throughout. And it says experience immediate conflict from the start as players must battle to secure both space and resources. So I imagine the TCs probably start close, and I don't think there's a lot of room to maneuver. It sounds like you got to kind of hedge your own space area. I don't know. This will be an interesting one. And I don't know if there's any deep sea fish or not on this. It looks like I guess there probably would be.
Oh, there better be. I'll be so upset.
It's pretty big bodies of water on the sides.
They got a deep sea in there.
Interesting.
Not a lot of wood. Not a lot of wood.
There's trees scattered on this one, so it doesn't say there's not wood. I imagine there's probably
I would say there's
amount.
wood, but I feel like there's not like a big patch of wood that you could like. Seem like you gotta like kind of like wood's kind of scattered, almost like I'm not seeing like a big patch.
To me,
wood.
It looks kind of like it's gonna be. I imagine if there's nothing, if it doesn't say otherwise, I assume there's as much wood as there would be on Dry Arabia. So you got forest lines here, there. That's kind of my assumption. There's gonna be wood throughout, but not like in abundance or anything. You know, it's just you gotta go get it.
Yeah. So interesting. So if the TCs do start sort of in the middle, very interesting because likely you'll have one safe pond to yourself, but the fact that you start so close to your opponent will like really make you question whether or not you want to open that dock early. Where your opponent can easily access you, if that's what I'm seeing.
Well, let's imagine the TCs start. There's like kind of cliffs. These watering holes have like two cliffs on the north and south. So the only way to get to them is from the sides, east and west. So let's imagine the TCs start towards the middle, right? Like, and there's one TC in the north and one in the south of this. Imagine then maybe you don't know which one to go for because each one is equally as close. So then maybe you both end up on the same one, or maybe one goes on one then the other. I imagine the water is going to be very, very contested on either side.
Really, I was imagining the TCs would be like one on the eastern side with the entire pond behind it, one on the western side.
That could be interesting.
That's what I was seeing too.
No idea. I wish.
That's a good question.
I wish we were going to see some previews of these maps.
Yeah. What would you prefer, the TCs on the north and south or east and west?
East and west for sure. I think that would be really interesting because the water is basically safe but you're not because you're so close to your opponent.
So close to your opponent. That'd be interesting.
If they just go feudal, it's going to be hard to. You're going to be so much slower. It's going to be hard to defend.
That's crazy. When you think about it, that the fact that based on where the TC spawn literally change up the whole dynamic of the map.
Yeah.
Like if it's north and south, then like you're pretty much like the water is just like you're just doing your best. It's gonna be a lot more fighting on the water. But if you're east and west, then it's like the whole dynamic of the game switches.
It reminds me of
you have a backyard pond.
It reminds me of Holy Island, kind of what I did, what I always do on Holy Island whenever I play. I usually pick French, and I always just rush over with knights because like that timing is so crucial when you're trying to go on water. That if you play like a really fast French opener, you can get knights in their base by 5 minutes. They're not aging up to like 6. You know, you can catch them before they're ready to go, and you can just have knights all over their base. I mean, I think Beale's right. Like, do you go for water if you're going against a French player on this one? Like, that could be really, really risky, right? But if you don't, and the French player does, and you're behind, I mean, I think that the back and forth play on this could be really, really fascinating. This will be an interesting map to see. I expect it to be in the ranked pool at some point.
Gotta be at least.
It feels like a good 1v1 map as well. I wonder how it'll scale up though. With team
that'd
games.
Be cool. Like teams where you get the whole pond with your teammates.
This map does look nice. Like for teams that you guys both like, if you spawn east and west with teams, that'd be pretty cool. What I'm saying though, do you have to go north and south to get that stone and gold? Like, is that really where it's spawned?
I imagine everyone has their spawn gold, right? I mean, around your starting area, you always have one small stone vein and one small gold vein. So I imagine you'll have 4,000 of each at, or actually, I don't think there's that much stone at the stone veins, is there? It's like
I don't know.
Is it like 1,000? I think it's like 1,000.
Yeah, stone's a lot less.
Me seeing this gold and stone make me feel like you spawn north and south. So I feel like it's going to be.
I don't know. Either way, right. There's kind of in the image we're looking at. There's gaps all around there. There's like a gap right in each northwest, south, and east around the center of the map where it looks like you could have TCs based off just a little preview image.
I'm excited to see where the TC spawns will be the biggest question.
Yeah, and we got more to go through. Cliffside. This one intrigues me. It's the description says a pattern of cliffs and passes weaves across the map, exposing rich stone and gold deposits. What might be on the other side? This looks like just imagine imagine like a dry Arabia, but then put a diagonal slash through that, and you just got these like cliffs slashing through it, and a couple of sacred sites. It's only got 2. It's one in the corner, one in the middle. It doesn't show like a third or fourth or anything like that. I wonder if there'll be a third. I wonder if there'll be a third one in the corner.
Beastie said this is almost like a more organized, like more structured Lippany. Like how Lippany, that's what Beastie described it as.
Yeah, it looked like less berries, but more stone and gold based on the description.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I like the height elevations. I do like Lippany for that. I like when you can see some height, or you can have some height differences. I always love when you put a tower up on a hill and you can get like a lot of vision from that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Be interesting to see how that pans out.
Some people want it to be like AoE 2, where like height gives you an advantage in combat. That'd be different.
I like understand that, but I'd be such a new mechanic.
It's not baked in from the start into the game. It shouldn't. You can't go back and add it now.
That's like a huge thing in AoE 2s. That'd probably be like very hard to adapt to this late in the game.
Yeah, I think increased vision makes sense, but that's about as far as I'd go.
This next one's got me kind of. This one's pretty
this next one reminds me of like an AoE 2 map. I don't think it is, or it might be. The next one's forts. Emerging civilizations have dug up themselves into small defensive forts, awaiting an imminent clash for supremacy. So it looks like your starting zones, I kid you not, have like a moat around them. You got like 4 little lakes that kind of create a moat in a square or circle around what I would assume be the starting spot. It looks like a dry Arabia, but with like you're in the corners. And then you've got 2 sacred sites in the opposite corners, and then you're in your little forts. You got a little defensive spot. Seems,
you know what the mindset I guess was for this map. According, because I listened to Beastie earlier talk about him, so like I mean I'm not trying to act like I'm like I'm that like I'm this is what I think it is. I'm a cheat here. He said that the reason why they developed the map like this, so you had to expand out to the map, because I guess its waters have no fish in them. Like they're literally just so you have to expand out into the map. But pretty much that little moat, that little centerpiece in the center of the water can literally just fit your TC. So apparently you can't
like
just,
that.
you have to expand out into the map. rather than like, stay safe in your, because like all this water, you can't build any landmark or anything, or, it's not enough room. So you have to go out on the map, and both you guys have to go. So it'll be way more fighting inland. You always have like a natural barrier or fort around your home TC. But most of all your landmarks and all the fighting and production buildings are going to be outside. So that's pretty interesting.
That's really interesting. Yeah. Like I don't know, like Hill and Dale get to a better spot over the years. I mean, this isn't going to be exactly like Hill and Dale if it's just the only thing you can really wall off is the like capital TC.
You're gonna run out of resources before it's even useful. Yeah, no, that'll be interesting. I'm excited to see that.
For this, man.
The next one we have is reminds me a lot of mountain clearing, but it's imagine mountain clearing, but instead it's called glade. There's a couple differences though I want to note. While the initial wall of forest provides a sense of security, you must soon venture out of your hideout to battle for resources. It's almost like an inverse hideout. So you've got like wood all around, and you're in like a little cubby hole on the sides, but there's wood in a giant circle, and you're kind of defended in your little cubby, but you got to go out to get resources very soon. But instead of hideout being all the wood in the middle, the wood's on the outside, and there's a big open center with the sacred site in the middle. So kind of like a mix between an inverse hideout meets like a what is it called again? Mountain clearing, but with just wood.
See, now this map looks pretty good for like team games. I can't see this map being that competitive 1v1. I mean, maybe.
I'm excited to see it. Like I do enjoy a mountain clearing every now and then.
The developers are cooking.
I want legendary player Conky to come back because this map is made for him.
Oh, dude!
His strat of going improved. Wood cutting with the Mongols to fell a tree in one chop.
Dig himself in.
Dig inside, yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's interesting. That man right there, man. He needs to be more recognized on a broad level. Those strategies are insane. First person seen doing something like that. But so like what I'm seeing here with the trees though on Glade, is it like the trees are creating a choke point for the spawn? Like you
it looks like they come out and like block off most of it.
If you spawn east and west, and that's pretty much the trees are pretty much a choke point for your TC. So like you're gonna have to travel from center and probably get lit.
Drop a barbican at the opponent's choke.
Oh my gosh, that would be. Don't even get that started. Dude, that would be so infuriating. I feel like this won't make ranked map pull though. I feel like this would be quick match or something.
Yeah, it's probably too gimmicky for rank.
It's got a quick match vibe to it. Although I say the same thing about hideout, but it sometimes finds its way.
It's gonna be fun day one of the DLC because they'll probably play a lot of these maps because day one there's no ranked gameplay. It's just all quick match. I don't think rank comes out till 15th. So really, it's like this when you try everything out. Like that's why the first day of DLC is so fun because you're not even worried about losing. You're just just
learning everything, trying to
experimenting.
With the new civs in particular.
Oh, dude, it's not enough time. You need so much time. We'll get to there. We'll get to that. That's
next on our list. I really like this. Is I think one of my favorite ones I've seen. Golden Pit. So the central pit contains numerous large gold deposits. Conquering the gold deposits will be crucial for victory. Basically, it looks like a dry Arabia. I don't even see any secret sites on this mini map at all of what they have here. I'm assuming there's got to be one somewhere, but
it's like an inverse King of the Hill.
Almost like kind of a King of the Hill. I don't see a secret site in the middle, but there's just a bunch of gold down there. I think it's fun. That sounds like a fun time to me. Yeah, there's no woods on the outside, just kind of scattered wood around. So just imagine a giant golden pit. I mean, what a fun idea. I mean, that could be laid out so interesting, I think.
Would you like this in ranked?
Yeah, for sure. This was certainly a AoE 2 map that I was kind of surprised they didn't bring over when they launched AoE 4. I was kind of waiting for this one, and I'm not surprised to see it now. It was a fun map to play in AoE 2, and I don't think there's any complications between games that is going to make it less fun to play in AoE 4. It looks like there's going to be more impassable cliffs.
Yeah.
Based on what I'm seeing here. Because in AoE 2, it was just a drop right down into the middle. Also, I know in 2, in the middle of the pit, there were like 1 million wolves as well. Oh. And they did a lot more damage than the wolves do in AoE 4.
Dude,
curious
people
if they're
be so mad if they do that. They put a bunch of wolves in there.
Like, I mean, it's gonna be insane for Roost if they do that.
Oh, dude, yeah. Oh, yeah. This might be a Roost map. I'm trying to think. Now, like, we didn't cover. I wonder what Civ's gonna be like dominant on these maps.
Oh, it'll be so interesting.
Like,
Roost, if there was a lot of wolves, I feel like Roost would be pretty good on it. But
like,
we'll see.
Glade with hunting cabins.
You think Malians just pit all these boys up?
Oh,
I think it's gonna be hard to control.
That'd be hard to control.
It's so far in the middle of the open. It's so. I mean, this does look a lot like sort of like an inverse of King of the Hill. It would be. Yeah. It looks like, I think you're right, Beale. There looks like there will be like those impassable cliffs. So probably a couple ways in, kind of like King of the Hill. There's only a couple ways up into the hill. I imagine it'd be something similar to that.
This might be a good free for all map too.
Yeah, a lot of these maps would be. This next one in particular, I don't know what to make of this one, guys. This one sounds absolutely like ridiculous.
This is the one I think I'm the most excited for. So there is an AoE 2, a map that is similar to this that does see competitive play, where it is just a ring of forest around where you spawn in the center with your opponent and resources on the outside. So there is like a play to like get outside of the ring as well as defend yourself on the inside. I'm really excited for this.
It's
map.
Intriguing. For anyone who doesn't know, Beale kind of described it. There's a sacred site in the middle. There's two openings. There's a giant ring around that of trees, and looks like there's two entrances, one the north or south. It says expand outwards away from the chaotic center where both allies and foes are settled in close proximity. Wow, I can't speak today. That sounds. Imagine this on a team game, dude. I mean, this is the kind of thing. It just seems like a madhouse. This map is going to be.
Yeah, this map is nice.
Really interesting.
So we're spawning like outside of the trees.
Inside.
No,
you're spawning inside the Thunderdome.
Okay. So I was thinking. Okay, that's good here because I was thinking like, remember Oasis?
I was about to say like a reverse Oasis.
Yeah, like always. Yeah, because like there's no water in there too. There's no water because like I thought they had that little gap in between the trees to make it to where you didn't have to even cut through. You just immediately got in the center. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
Going to see a lot of free-for-all madness on that one, I think. I'm excited for
a lot of these maps are free-for-all, like you said.
Next one's interesting. This one, Hidden Valley. It reminds me of the pit.
Horizontal pit.
It looks like a horizontal pit. Sacred Valley cuts its way between two large mountains. Hidden far behind the tree lines are secrets and treasures for those who dare to search for them. It looks a lot like the pit, but like horizontal.
French Pass too.
Yeah, French Pass. Yeah, French Pass.
A mix of the French Pass and pit. I can see that working though. I can see it working.
I mean, I haven't seen any map generations, but those are two of my least favorite maps.
I actually don't mind the pit. The pit, especially on team games, I don't mind at all. I do think it's a fun map.
I hate on team games. Oh, dude, it's just trade central, dude. It's just
that's true.
Yeah, it's just nothing but trade. It's like at least at my level when I play, I'm just like.
Actually, I did. In those games I was doing, I mentioned with my brothers-in-law. We did. At first, I stomped with me and Timokin, our new player. I was stomping even still 2v1. Basically, I was still stomping against Jeremy and Aaron. And so they're like, okay, well, I'll do a random civ this time. And I randomed into Malians on the pit. And so I just went full trade and cow boom, and eventually won an Imperial. It was quite fun.
Yeah. Actually, mine's probably really good in the pit.
Malians it was kind of a fun experience. Malians, I've never really won with Malians before. So it was kind of a fun experience. Made me kind of go, I can maybe see why people do this. I can kind of get it. I don't know if I could actually sell my soul to the devil and become a Malians main, but I can kind of understand why some people might be enticed to be a sellout.
Yeah.
And again, maybe I am a sellout. Maybe I should sell out.
It's time to do it, bro. It's time to do it.
Only for money.
Trade it in.
I don't have much else to say about this map other than what we've already said about it. But the next one actually is one of the ones I'm really hyped about. Himeyama. Yeah. This one, I feel like I recognize this from AoE 2.
I don't think there was.
There's like one where you start. I'm pretty sure there's a map in AoE 2 where you are on a hill. You start on a hill with very few resources, and you have to kind of go into the valleys to get everything else. And it's kind of just an uncovered hill, not like Hill and Dale. It's like just an actual just rolling hill.
There was what is it? Begins with A. It was new. I know what you're talking about. Begins with.
Well, this one is called
Himeyama. Exactly.
Which when I read
exactly what.
Which when I read the name, it just reminds me of the basketball player Wembanyama.
Oh yeah, there we go, dude. Everybody.
He's been killer. Actually, if anyone who doesn't follow NBA, dude, he has been quite something lately. Anyways,
that guy, dude. Okay,
back on subject. The Wembanyama map has got started atop a hill with.
Hey, that's got to be the new name for it. That's the new
Acropolis. That's the name of the map.
Yeah. I was just buying time for you to be able to get that.
Thank you.
Himayama start atop a hill with scarce resources and venture into the valley to uncover valuable deposits. Be cautious, however, your enemies seek the same treasures. Looks like you start on kind of a bald hill and you got to kind of work your way into the valley. There's sacred sites in the corners. You start in the other opposite corners, and there's a pond in the middle. Doesn't look too big, but it is there. So I wonder if we'll have like kind of a cauldron kind of vibe where there's like a shoreline fish, or if there's actual deep sea fish. I don't know.
Yeah, the first time I looked at this, I thought, oh yeah, Hill and Dale plus cauldron. That's
kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Initial reaction, which is great.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
I like Hill and Dale now. I think it's gotten to a much better place than it used to be. And if they tweak it a little bit more, maybe even have the resources be a little more scarce on top of the hill, and then also have that battle for the middle pond.
Having more food in the middle now. That's actually not just berries. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
I think it's a winner of a map.
I think this is one of the best maps they've added in. I think this one. I mean, from what little I know about them, this is one of the ones I'm most hyped about. I think.
This whole time you guys have been getting on analytical. I've been thinking of a nickname for this map, and I think it's Him Your Mama. I think I'm gonna go for that one.
Him Your Mama.
When I first see this in the rank form, it's called Him Your Mama. I don't know. I just gotta think. I have so many nicknames for the maps. I just gotta think this map does look nice though.
Let's take a side note here. What are your nicknames for the maps in the pool right now?
Well, no, you put in the spot. Let me check because let me go back and check.
Not just the ones in the pool, but like released AOE 4 maps.
Let me see.
Hit us with some of your nicknames.
Let me see. Let me go back and keep talking. Let me pull them up.
I'm excited to hear
my
these.
brain is having.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, listen. I say so many things incorrectly on purpose. Let me pull up AOE 4 and look at this map pool because I know for a fact. It slides off, and a lot of them aren't very. I'm trying to relax because a lot of them aren't like we have a very friendly podcast. I'm trying to make sure I filter the right ones out. A lot of them are a little. A lot of them aren't the most.
Oh
yeah. We'll get there. I'm a site for them. I'm filter out. Exactly. I gotta filter them out. Because sometimes I get a little. You know what I'm saying. Sometimes you get a couple little big boy sippers and you start saying some things that you don't mean. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, listen. So yeah, Him Your Mama's going to get added to the list. That's for sure going, but I got more. Of course, see, the one I say it all the time, we all know Boulder Base. That was whack. Like that one got used up too quick. They call it like Boner Bay. Oh. Yeah. That was a classic though. That was I think, did anybody ever called it Boulder Bay?
I still call it Boulder Bay. I'm pretty tame.
I called it Boulder. Oh, wow,
I like it. That's a fun nickname, though. I haven't heard that one. I just haven't heard it. I like it. That's funny. Boulder Bay? Never. I'll start doing that now. That's pretty funny.
Get a little shrinkage when the patch.
Oh God!
Used to be.
Got a little cold out.
I was swimming.
That day. Oh yeah. Hey, listen, boys. Yeah, some of these actually, I realize a lot of these aren't appropriate. I'm gonna tell you guys off stream because we'll keep it tamed.
Well, we'll put this in the Patreon. We'll have in the Patreon for anyone who wants to. All these degenerates there who actually give us money can hear all the terrible things. I'm on my best behavior
when extra sheep comes. I'm on my best behavior always. But
I'm sure our dads in the car listening to this as they drop their kids off to school appreciate that, Sir Nevels. I'm sure they really do.
I would never just tamper. I would never tamper the reputation.
Yeah, if we ever want to be official, we got to keep things,
exactly.
Good,
we got
to prevent.
We need sponsors. We need sponsors.
They only sponsor people who are good boys. Right?
Exactly. That's why I try to keep tamed every day.
All right, next in the list, we got two more to go. This next one, this one does not feel like a one I'm going to like very much. I'll be honest with you. It's called Thickets. Vanquish the enemy by taking control of the Holy Lake. Or, okay, what is that? Wait, what? The Holy Lake, or send your armies around to extensive forests and cliffsides to surprise them. I'll be honest.
This map name is hilarious. I'm sorry.
This one, I don't even know how would you guys describe this one? I didn't realize. At first, I thought this looked like a Baltic. But now that I'm looking at it, now I'm kind of like, wait a minute. What's with
It's
this?
like
There's something about this.
Baltic.
I thought it was a Baltic, but the sacred site in the middle of this big lake confuses me.
Gotta be shallow water. It's gotta be
shallow water. Is it
Yeah,
shallow
probably,
water then?
Yeah, it's gotta be shallow.
Oh,
probably can actually go up there and tame that. Because why would the sacred be?
Okay.
It's like it's an island or something. Yeah, so it's probably like. Remember what was that one map that you could like fish? Marshlands. Yep. It's probably like marshland type water.
What if it's marshlands, but it has deep water fish? Somehow.
Whoa, how would that work?
How?
I don't know.
That would be
water you can't, but the fishing ships can go on both.
Or is it just deep water and there's just a tiny little pinprick with the sacred site in the middle?
That would be crazy. You have to actually like transport a monk on this little tiny island, like right in the center. No, it's gotta be shallow.
It's gotta be. I hope it's a combination of both. And like
that'd be sweet.
Ships can go on like both sorts of water, but land units can only go on the shallows. So you can see more like land unit versus ship combat as well.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
Well, marshland, like, you can still make ships on marshland, can you? Just like right on the edge. You can travel far, but they like
you can. And they can get the shoreline fish, but if there's like deep water fish, and now you've got like. Instead of investing in the dock to kill your opponent's fishing eco, you send over some Royal Knights to do the same.
Boys, I actually heard they kind of like they changed the way water. I don't know if it's just cosmetically, but I watched that BC video earlier. I heard they have done something to the water that make it either. I don't know if it just makes it look nicer, or if they actually made some tweaks to water.
I wouldn't hold it past
the screenshots coming up. That water looks a little bit different. It looks pretty nice. So
we haven't described what this looks like actually. So there's a lake in the middle. Yeah. There's two cliffs north and south, with thickets of trees on above them as well and below. And there's kind of open space left and right. And then the sacred sites, one in the middle, which we have no idea how that works, and then one's in the corners, one or two in the corners. So.
I wonder where you spawn again on this map. That's the biggest question. Yeah. Right? You spawning east and west, or probably east and west on this map? It looks like a little mini Baltic, but it's not a deep fish.
If it was north and south, and then you couldn't immediately dock and had to go around because of the cliffs, that would be really interesting.
Yeah, and that big wood line too, right next to it. That would be this map. Actually, I don't think this map. You think this map get any rank play? Actually,
I don't expect it to be. I need to see it because the picture is very odd, and it's just hard to understand what that's going to translate to as like a seeded map. You know?
Yeah. Correct.
All right, last one. This one actually, it's definitely not going to be in the ranked 1v1 map pool at all. This one I think also might be some of the most fun for like a free for all as well. This might be some of the most interesting, most turtle, and literally it's in the name, Turtle Ridge. Nestled between protective mountains and blessed with bountiful resources, civilizations have time to both construct impressive fortifications and prepare massive armies to overcome those of their foes. Let the battles begin. Basically, everyone's got like a little mountain, like a little. Everyone's got like a little pocket, like in a mountain chain. There's a bunch of mountains all across the map, and everyone's got their own little like pizza slice where they're protected.
Yeah.
It's so good luck if you wall up with China with a great gatehouse in the front of that. Good luck ever getting in. This is going to be a wonder free for all fest. And I'm I'm almost kind of here for it.
Imp and dropping a Berkshire in the middle.
I mean, kind of, right? This is going to be one of those games where everyone's trying to get a wonder up first, right? That's what it's going to be. It's who can boom the fastest, get to a wonder the fastest, and then
I wonder how many resources are in the center.
It doesn't sound like as many. It sounds like everyone's got plenty of resources inside there. It says there's bountiful resources. I think it's a wonder. I think it's a wonder boom map where it's who can just build and town like build up as fast as they can, or you build up a military and tear it down. I mean, to me, like with that being the play style, I find it very interesting. But it's never going to be a competitive map.
Neighbor's door. Got to knock on your neighbor's door.
Yeah, if you can get in real quick. But again, for a defensive civ, this will be a defensive civ's dream. Yeah. So the Chinas, the Englishes, the HREs, actually, I don't know how well HRE would be with this. Actually,
depending on the relics, maybe
it'd be pretty good. Getting the relics would be the tricky thing with HRE on this map. But this would be really interesting on a giant China 8 player free for all. Can you imagine?
Yeah, China and English are going to be pretty dominant on this map, I feel.
So I'm wondering, it looks like there's only one way through, like, towards the center. But I got to imagine there's going to be, like, a left and a right opening.
It almost looks like that in parts. It's hard to tell.
There's got to be. It's wild if there's only one single choke point.
Even Mountain Pass, for all of its flaws, does usually have a secondary small opening in the mountains, right? You've got the main one, and there's always a small, like, mountainous route, which I always love that about that map. I like kind of surprising my foes going through that way.
Dude, this match should be called diplomacy. Like, it's not even war. Like, it's just like, you're just next to your neighbor, like, hey, man, like, you might start trading. This might be like a Sim City simulator. Like,
again, it's a Wonder Boom map. Who can boom the? I mean, that's kind of fun, because the fun thing with a lot of free for alls turn into someone builds a wonder, but in this one, everyone's got an equal spawn to do that. So who can macro the best to get there? And or maybe you can take someone down.
Who's gonna be the first guy to build one? That's the boldest decision, because you're gonna have, like, everyone's gonna be knocking at your door at that time.
Exactly. It's gonna be crowds of. I mean, this is the kind of game that's meant to be a longer game, and that's kind of the implication going in. Which, as long as you're all you know that going in, like, I think it'd be kind of fun to play. I mean, imagine we did an extra sheep boom where it's just like Wonder Boom with, like, the sheep, and just, I mean, all of us guys playing, and we just all see who gets there first, but then we're all tearing each other crabs in a pot for an hour or two. Like, it could be a fun way to play if you're down for that. Definitely not going to see it in the 1v1 ranked pool. I will have some issues.
What if it turned out to be a little more aggressive than we thought? Remember how we thought Mountain Clearing would be a super quick map? Like, everyone would be just in and out really quick, but it actually turned out to, like, a lot of long games came out of Mountain Clearing.
Really?
It was like, we thought, oh, dude, Mountain Clearing.
I
like,
do free for all.
There were
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like, we expected to be, like, just because they're so close proximity that it'd be just, like, fighting nonstop. But people found a way to, like, actually survive longer than expected on that map. But this map looks like a Mongol heaven. Like, Mongols are great on this map. You know, who needs walls? You're fine.
Who needs walls? You've got mountains.
You got mountains. You're good.
Those are the new maps coming in, though. All 10 of those. Pictures can be found on ageempires.com if you want to take a look at them. They're all there. We tried giving you guys a good enough description to envision them, but sometimes it really helps to just see the image and travel along with us as we went through those. Moving on, I do want to talk about just very briefly. I'm really excited about this. This has very little to do with the actual gameplay. I am pretty excited for the new biomes coming in, the Japanese spring and the savannah. Although I saw a Reddit post, I didn't actually put it in our list of posts, but I saw one saying for the savannah they should have changed the deer skins, or they hope they changed the deer skins to being antelope on that map.
And you guys see that water? You guys seeing this water? How it looks a little different. I heard it's even more like you get Savannah, the little pond. How it looks like more. I guess they might have done like a graphic overhaul of the water. Depending on probably on your rig. Can handle it. Yeah, hopefully we'll see. Depending on, like, your specs, how it's going to turn out looking. But I hope Savannah gets the Sahara out of here, dude. Like, I'm down for the Savannah. Okay, now I really can talk Savannah, but the Sahara, the blinding white, like almost like blinding light beach desert biome. Like, I hope that gets canned. That's like the worst biome in the game. I hope Savannah takes over. And Japanese Spring looks amazing. This
Japanese Spring looks really nice.
Everybody's going to be playing on that.
Yeah, this might be the best biome in the game.
I hope they leave the Halloween one in too. I really have liked that one. The biomes. One of the nicest ways to make maps, because my thing is I don't like playing on the same map every time where it feels like I'm playing the same game every single time. The biomes, I gotta admit, have kind of an effect on that. I genuinely, I really feel like they adjust the feel of the game. Especially the Halloween one, I really have loved that. The Japanese Spring just looks gorgeous.
This is going to be a biome in the ranked map pool. This is going to be one to stay.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they both will be.
I'm so sorry. I hate to go off topic, but did we talk about Japanese yet? Did that release? Yeah, we did. Did we?
We talked about
it. We didn't talk about the new stuff about Japanese.
Not the new stuff. Yeah. We got
about the actual. Okay, because I'm wondering, like, did it come out during like our period of like not recording?
I think so. That's kind of why we're going through this whole thing. They got a lot more details.
Cool.
They did announce it. We went into the Civ announcement like they did the other ones, but
I don't believe we did.
I don't think we did last time.
Did we not?
No, I believe that.
Oh, we haven't, have we? I'm actually thinking I went over them on my own. You're right. We have the Japanese to talk about still. I was just going over them. I went through them on my own time and thought that was it. But I guess that's We haven't gotten Japanese yet.
Boys, this is a holiday.
What have I done? Man, I am all out of sorts.
No, actually, no, it threw me off too because I'm thinking like, did we talk? I thought we talked about it with Tim.
We talked about Jushi's legacy. That's why.
Yes, it was. It was Shushi's legacy. Yep.
Well, let me find the Japanese. Let's read more about. Let's do that. Let's do that right now. That's a great segue.
Oh yeah.
Wow, I can't believe I didn't talk about Japanese yet, guys. I totally went over it when I came out on my own time and looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
I have not as of yet. Okay, so Japanese. The Japanese are a new civilization available with the Sultan's Ascent expansion for Age of Empires 4. Woo! Okay. The Japanese civilization introduces the new Daimyo system, allowing you to upgrade the town center to a daimyo manor and eventually a shogunate castle. So I actually know a lot about this, guys. I've actually lived in Okinawa, and I actually do know a bit about Japanese.
That's pretty cool.
One of my favorite board games is called Samurai Swords. Used to be called Shogun, and it's about this time period. So I always knew about a lot of these names. Actually, pieces and things I play in my board game.
Pretty sweet.
I know a lot about this. So the daimyos were just some backup. Feudal Japan, there was no Empire Japan. They were all a bunch of little states essentially. And the daimyos were military, kind of, yeah. The daimyos were like the big men, right? The daimyos were the generals who fielded samurai armies, and they were all vying for power in feudal Japan, trying to unite them all, right? And so there's a lot of infighting, a lot of different daimyos. The daimyos, think of daimyo as general. That's kind of the best way to kind of, or maybe warlord, but they were the daimyos. Each one was trying to become the shogun of Japan, the shogun being like the chief daimyo, the guy who takes over. So they were trying to become the next shogun. And so that's their preference. They had spears, they had some gunpowder units, they had gunpowder. Actually, gunpowder was just emerging. They wouldn't have had much gunpowder. It was just starting to emerge. They did have some gunpowder, especially in the later parts of the feudal Japan. But they did have a lot of spearmen, a lot of samurai. Bowmen in particular were very, very good at that time. And everyone knows samurai, and everyone likes it. Everyone focuses on the ninjas, but they didn't play as big of a part as people think. Anyways, so eventually you can upgrade again. Allows you to upgrade your town center to a daimyo manor and eventually a shogunate castle that comes with powerful defenses while also bolstering food production from nearby farms. Advancing the daimyo level also unlocks access to samurai bannermen, special units that provide significant combat bonuses to units around them. Embrace espionage by fielding the unique shinobi, capable of blending in with enemy villagers and sabotaging production from behind enemy lines. In Age of Empires 4, the Japanese civilization spans the 8th century Common Era to the early 17th century Common Era. Collapse of imperial power has separated the Japanese into small kingdoms ruled by warlords to ultimately be reunified by a bloody civil war. During this period, the daimyo employed the samurai to defend their territories by paying them with goods such as land and food. Guys, this civ, I think, is what I'm most hyped about. Because I don't think I'm going to be, I don't think I'm going to get my PhD and be able to play Byzantines as well as Beastie keeps alluding that it's going to have to take. He makes it sound like it's going to be just beyond all of us plebs.
That's all that's
I take slight offense to that. I think people could pick them up and use them. I'm sure it can't be that bad. I'm betting it's going to be a high ceiling kind of situation though. But this civ, the way it plays just sounds like right up my alley for what I want to do. Playing the Japanese. The Japanese civilization in Age 1 begin with multi-purpose buildings that offer unique options for early strategy and are excellent at producing fishing ships quickly. They focus on localized economy supported by a daimyo from town centers. Once upgraded into a daimyo manor, villagers working farms in the surrounding area will receive a large bonus, and samurai bannermen become available to produce. A vast roster of infantry, primarily focused on the samurai, defend the territory and lead the battle with samurai bannermen. Who are support infantry and cavalry with attack bonuses, and the samurai offer excellent frontline support with their deflective armor and ability which periodically blocks attacks.
Whoa.
So at a glance, the units, I know there's so much to talk about here. I'm just going to keep blasting through and then we'll just get the reactions. Unless someone has something really they want to talk about. But the Shinobi, Koka Township landmark, light infantry unit that disguises itself as an enemy villager, sabotaging enemy structures and using clever smoke bombs to reappear in new locations. So let's stop there and talk about that.
So fun.
That is so cool. I mean, I never thought I'd expect like Among Us to come in here and pop into AoE, but I am all for it, dude. All for it.
That's crazy. The smoke cloud is like the fun. That'd be so funny to watch. If you're casting a game, you just see somebody just creeping to somebody's like economic building to nerf it, get caught, smoke bomb out. Like that's nuts.
Imagine like you see the smoke bomb. Go ahead, Beale. Go ahead.
I remember when Team Fortress 2 came out, and the spy class was my favorite on release. And this is
I heard about
just
that.
like just run in, sap their buildings, and go invisible and get out of there. Yeah. No, I'm so excited about this unit.
Yeah, I imagine like having like you see a smoke bomb, poof, and you're like, oh crap, we got Shinobi in my base. But then you just see your villagers, and they're all just working, and you're just like, well, which one of you is it, huh? Which one of you? Is there any way to tell? Like, how do you figure that out? Like, or my big question, one thought I was wondering is, okay, if they have fake villagers, do they must pretend to be a villager? Do they actually gather resources for you, or do you have to like look and see if one of them drops it off if there's nothing that pops up?
They're faking tasks. They're faking tasks.
They're faking tasks. They're faking
tasks.
They already vent. We already know they can vent. So
exactly.
they fake tasks.
I know they're venting. That's crazy. That'd be crazy. Imagine looking to see a cloud of smoke. Like, hey, wait a minute. Hey, what's going on here?
Like that'd be kind of cool, right? If you had to like, you knew they were there, but you had to have the APM to like look and see which one drops off and doesn't get the little +5, +10 food or whatever.
I feel like if you highlight it, it's going to give you like a little sword. Like it's going to say like, you're going to be actually like, it's like you go and hover your villagers, you're going to be able to attack one of them.
You got to like find one of them. But if you're like just playing, you don't notice.
Dude, yeah, if you don't notice, yeah. I wonder how it's going to look when they're like nerfing your like production.
I don't know, man. Then they just like, they're like sleeper agents that suddenly go out of nowhere and then just like start killing your bills instead. Like the
like double the production
awesome.
of one of your that's going to be a lot of griefing gameplay. It's going to be silly.
It's going to be so much fun. And this isn't even the best part. This is like just one thing of many, right? This
one
is
thing, yeah.
One fun mechanic of a million that I'm so excited about. But that one, the Among Us memes are just going to fly forever. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, that's so silly.
The Onamusha. This unique horse archer specializes in taking down heavily armored units with its high damage mobility and longer weapon range. Replaces the crossbowmen from other civilizations.
This sounds strong.
This sounds nuts.
Wild.
Picture like a mega dive, but it's an anti-men-at-arms. Yeah. A mounted crossbow. That's
pretty strong. Like, this is something I learned about like Japanese history. Like, they were also like very well at like very good at bowmen. They were like really good at like
their archers were crazy. Like,
their archery is insane.
Up
like
there with like English longbows as far as like skill and effectiveness on the battlefield. Yeah.
Like a lot of samurai are archers. Like horse archers too. Like they are insane. I remember playing oh my goodness, it's a Japanese, it's like a dang it, oh my goodness, Ghost of Tsushima. Yes, it's a classic game about you playing as a Japanese samurai holding off the island of Tsushima from the Mongols, which is also really cool about Japanese history. They held the Mongols off pretty heavy. But yeah, dude, and then, like they really like go dive into like after they had a longbow themselves. Like they had a type of longbow that was like really they really go down the history of like how archery was really studied and focused on island of Tsushima. So like that's something I think people don't really take into consideration how well trained their archers were.
This sounds like a HRE killer to me.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I love the idea, or a night killer. Even if I don't know how fast they are, but like this unit, I imagine it's got to be so expensive, right? And probably doesn't have a lot of armor itself. So I'm betting like I would bet like Mangadai, they get countered by longbows or archers in general. I imagine like that would be the trade-off. It just has to be. I bet spears probably do pretty good into them too if you can catch them. But I imagine like a bunch of men-at-arms like are just gonna get shredded by these guys.
Yeah, I feel like this would be a nice like raid. I want to say a raid unit. It's probably good to throw in your army comp. The fact they pretty much are the crossbowmen. So like and then they can probably kite insanely. It's like just being a kite, like a crossbowman that can like kite and outward pace, because men-at-arms are slow. So like the fact they can probably outrun men-at-arms and just kite them and then just take them out. Like this if you can micro these well, these probably really strong in your army. Yeah.
Next unit up is the Ozutsu Tanegashima gunsmith landmark. The heavy ranged gunpowder unit equipped with a handheld cannon. The Ozutsu excel at sieging enemy buildings and destroying groups of units clumped up in an area. These are like cannoneers meets grenadiers.
Is this how Bill, you probably know, it's not like how bombards were in AoE 2? Like they roll them on like they weren't like actual cannons, like they actually had a cannon in their hand rolling around. Was that
there was the Portuguese got the organ gun, which is basically a Ribaldiquin. There's a bombard cannon, but it just shot like a big cannonball. And hand cannoneers just basically had very similar to AoE 4, except they could miss.
Micro.
I don't know what. This is interesting because the first time I read it, I thought, "Oh, this is a siege unit, and it's basically a great bombard." And then no, it is.
It's a unit.
It's like an infantry unit.
I think it'll do a bit of both. I think it'll do a bit of both. It'll be good for kind of hitting big clumps and probably good for taking down some buildings. They're probably, again, very expensive units, I imagine, you know?
Oh, yeah. PLA units.
And it sounds like they come from a landmark, a gunsmith landmark is what it looks like. So it looks like you have to, it kind of like grenadiers or other things. You have to have the right landmarks, the right whatevers to get that. So, and those are the unique units. It doesn't talk about the bannermen here. It doesn't talk about any other samurai. I imagine those would replace, like instead of men at arms, I imagine it's going to be a sword wielding samurai. I'm sure there'll be some slight differences like that, much like we have like with palace guards, etc. Japanese through the ages. Let's take a look. This is really cool too. Age number 1. From age 1, the Japanese benefit from buildings that serve dual purposes: the farmhouse and forge. The farmhouse acts as both mill and a house and should be constructed around berry bushes for when sheep run low. The forge acts as both a mining camp and a blacksmith and contains an extra tier of melee damage technology available in Dark Age.
That is crazy.
That is pretty awesome. I'm pretty hyped about that.
The fact they're dropping off to houses. Is that they don't? They're dropping off to a house.
The houses are mills.
Farmhouse. And farmhouse. And that's sweet.
That's a fun mechanic. I like that.
I think people were predicting that based on the screenshots. The fact that it looks like a house, but it also has a blacksmith attached. Which is like that's something else. I would not be expecting that.
People were expecting this. Mining camp with blacksmith, which makes a lot of sense, honestly.
Yeah, that does.
And then houses with mills, which also kind of makes sense. So that's fun. I like that. It's a fun way to give them kind of a unique economic advantage.
Now I wonder if you can get the upgrades to these houses. Like, well, clearly the blacksmith / mill you can. But I was wanting my mining camp. But like if you get a house, can you? And that's acting as a mill. Can you get like wheelbarrow from the house?
I imagine you would. That's how that would work. I assume
that sounds pretty nice.
So you're gonna have a mill like right off the bat, no matter what.
A house would be more expensive.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I would feel like they'd be a little bit. That would.
I guess the trick is though, you don't want to overdo it though, right? Because you don't want to have it be so, because you got to have
mills. Really, are you going to build during a game?
Yeah, like you really need the houses. I imagine maybe they're just a bit more expensive, but I wouldn't make them too much more expensive, honestly. Because honestly, this might be one of those. I honestly wouldn't even hate if it was just normal price, because I bet their units are going to be very expensive in general, right? I imagine most of the units are going to be. I mean, minus the Ashigaru spearmen will be probably normal. They'll probably have some other differences as well. That's another unit that I don't think they mentioned, but I'm pretty sure because in Feudal Japan, the Ashigaru were the provincial spearmen forces. I'm sure we're going to have those in game. I'm almost like 99% sure that'll be in. But yeah, I'd almost be okay with it being just normal house price, like 50 wood. I mean, honestly, I think that'd be fine because that's bonus they get for that, right? That'd be their economic bonus. Because mills aren't the end all be all, right? Maybe the mining camps are a bit more pricey. I could see that being the case, like 75 wood or something for the mining camp instead. I could see that. I could see that.
No, that makes sense. With the amount of houses you need to build during the game, they should probably stay the same price.
Yeah. You don't want to make that too difficult.
Here's the first civ. I wonder if people like the first civ that has actual different variation of houses you could build. I wonder like everybody who's so used to just hitting Q, it's gonna be jacked up.
Yeah,
because like it's probably
they gotta keep that on Q.
Yeah, but I'm saying so the mill house in the
well, how does the GUR work?
The GUR is a drop off to everything.
Yeah,
like,
but what key is that though, right? Because it's a mill, it's a mining camp.
Yeah, well, so is that how this is too?
QQ is Uvu for Mongols.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Is it T? What is GUR?
I think it was
because it is a weird one.
It's a weird. It's not houses. I think it is T. Oh, I've literally forgot. I've been playing them too, but like, yeah, I think that's where I think it's like. It's one of those because A is pastures. QA is pastures. Yeah, I gotta go back and research that.
Yeah. This is not unprecedented, though, is what I was getting at. Is that other cities do different things like this. So it's not like, I mean, even though most...
more expensive. But a GURT is more expensive.
Yeah. So maybe this one would be a bit as well. I imagine the mining camp drop, but the mining camp blacksmith, I imagine to be more expensive. I expect the houses to probably be about the same. I'd be surprised the houses are more than like 55 because you don't want to make it. I mean, no Civ has more expensive houses that I know of. And for other Civs like French get a discounted rate for their drop off places and stuff. So I could see it being similar and not going crazy.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Too much speculation.
All right, Age 2. We've only gotten the Dark Age alone. I mean, is already super cool. I mean, early wheelbarrow could be so easy for Japanese if they already have a house down. Like that could be an easy go-to play. Anyways, okay. Age 2, the Koka Township. A fun fact, actually, Koka or Koku, I think is the other word I know. I know this from my board game as Koku, is a year's supply of rice. So I think that's where Koka comes from here as well. The Koka Township and Kura Storehouse landmarks allow options for militaristic or economic growth. The Koka Township produces shinobi, the unique units that can disguise themselves as enemy villagers, nullify enemy buildings with sabotage, and can make use smoke bombs to appear in new locations. That's more information about the shinobi than we knew, actually. That's some other things. Interesting. They can nullify enemy buildings with sabotage, and the shinobi can also use smoke bombs and appear in new locations. That's so cool.
That's insane.
If favoring a more economic approach, the Kura Storehouse acts as a universal drop-off location and periodically generates free farms in the surrounding area.
Whoa. That's pretty good. Farm.
That's neat. You're just going to slowly have a farm transition and not have to worry about it. That's neat. That's neat. That's way nice.
Yeah. You probably just like you just look over and see a couple more farm patches.
Yeah, you just got to move villagers over them slowly.
They're moving from sheep to farm. Yeah, I like
that. That can be really cool. That can take off some of your APM.
That sounds kind of OP. That sounds kind of OP.
Well,
I feel like that's going to need some balance.
It's not going to give you. It's going to give you a gradual shift, though, right? It's not going to give you. It is kind of. I don't think it's OP because it's not going to just boom. All your farms are there. It's going to take time to kind of build up, but you can. It's going to make transitioning easier, so you can just slowly transition to farms as you go. Which I think is that'd be really good for a new player. That's not for a newer player trying to learn how to do that. That'd be super sweet.
Oh yeah.
I want to bounce this back real quick. The Daimyo Manors. It looks like the TCs advance as well. Similar to I don't know, like the Zerg hatcheries in StarCraft or the different levels in like Warcraft 3, where you upgrade your home TC over and over. And it looks like after the first upgrade, there's a huge boost to
farming around it.
I'm imagining gather rate, to farming near your home.
So putting these two landmarks together, they're going to have a really good chemistry working together. I'm really hyped. This Civ, I think, is going to... I was wondering which one I would like the most. I think Japanese is going to be a go-to new Civ for me. It just sounds like... My playstyle, I think, in general, I've been a big fan of English, big fan of HRE. I really like Abbasid. I'm thinking it's just going to meld some of the things I like about a lot of those Civs, and I'm really excited for it.
Japanese is going to be my main even before
it's going to be my main for a while. Everyone's been talking up Byzantines, and I don't mean to dissuade anyone from Byzantines. Byzantines sound cool as could be.
Oh, yeah.
But this sounds like what I want to play for now. Like Japanese sounds like everyone will be learning Byzantines. I'll probably be one of the guys on the Japanese hype wagon for a bit.
It's kind of funny.
Go ahead.
I think everybody...
Because we haven't talked about it for a while, but I am really excited to play Joan of Arc.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
There's so much.
Yeah. Dude, they got more details about
that hero unit. Yeah, I'm pumped to give her a shot when that releases. Like more than anything else right now.
Oh, dude, that may be a first. I've heard like a lot of people are excited about Joan of Arc, but I haven't heard like a lot of people are really excited about the HRE in Japanese and Byzantines. Like I'm happy to say I'm excited about
the Ubids sound really fun.
Ubids, I mean, the Ubids
guys, it's having just picked up Abbasid now. I'm hyped about that too. So it's like. This is like Christmas come early for me. Like I'm so sad that it's actually a week from now and not this Tuesday.
Oh yeah, dude, you have me hyped. I was like, is it
I know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys.
I was like, maybe I miscalculated. Let's go.
Age 3 for Japanese. In Age 3, the Japanese can choose between the floating gate, which I called, by the way, to unlock Shinto priests, or the Temple of Quality to unlock Buddhist monks. This is actually one of the things that I think someone mentioned in one of those guys who makes up like the mock-ups of civs. I think he mentioned in there like that, or maybe it was for Norse, like a Norse civ, like the idea of picking between the two religions, right? And this one we see that like you got the Buddhist monks or the Shinto priests. Like you got kind of a choice to make and what your particular like daimyo system wants to go for. I love this. So Shinto priests are able to place sacred objects called yorishiro in buildings to achieve special bonuses, whereas Buddhist monks can weaken enemy damage output and solidify your position on the field.
I want to know what this yorishiro is. Like, are these not relics?
Yeah, that's a good question, right? Sacred objects called yorishiro in buildings. Which where are those coming from? Where are those coming from? Maybe the gatehouse produces. Maybe the gatehouse produces them.
Generate, out of the gatehouse,
and then
put them, or do you have to find them on the map? I don't know.
Are they new? Are they just everywhere? Is anyone gonna be able to pick up? No idea.
They spawn out of the gatehouse and you go and put them in a building you want. You got to go grab them and put them in. Is it like a little relic producer?
Does it make relics for you? Basically, like make little mini relics. I mean, that'd be kind of odd. Like, because what's the denial for that, and why not just have it automatically pop in? Why have a unique unit make? I don't know. Because why would you have a thing pop out these little things that your unique unit that comes from that thing as well picks up and moves somewhere else? Like, it just seems a little convoluted. But I don't know. They probably makes it could be off. It probably makes a lot more sense than that. Maybe when you pick up a relic, it turns into a yorishiro relic or something. Who knows?
The Buddhist monks are interesting though.
Yeah, that's a fun one too.
I don't think we've seen that ability before.
No, we haven't.
We've seen like healing, but we haven't seen like damage reduction shields. I mean, I guess
you've seen the camel riders kind of do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. That's strictly cavalry. It's not like it's all around.
Not all around, but I mean, that is a mechanic. It's somewhat in the game.
With the ranged attack, although that's just boosting ranged defense for your.
So metters count.
It's not nullifying the enemy.
Yeah, but that's boosting you.
Yeah, I think the camel riders are the only ones that actually debuff anything else already.
Yeah.
So there is the precedent for it, so it makes sense. But
I wonder if this buffs your entire military comp. So like that's when you want to focus down. You're doing like a percentage of the damage that you would be. Take away all your blacksmith upgrades when it gets near. That'd be rough. Yeah. This is details look great.
Age 4. I know.
These guys look amazing. These guys look amazing.
This is like the greatest overview. It's not even like there's so much to learn still. But Age 4. In Age 4, the Japanese civilization can choose between boosting trade or cultivating gunpowder weaponry. The Castle of the Crow acts as a keep and generates treasure caravans, which can traverse land or water to trade at any trade post.
Whoa.
Whereas the Tenegashima gunsmith can access an arsenal of gunpowder units, including the Ozutsu heavy ranged infantry. I think, I know I was joking about being a bad American about pronunciations. I think I'm doing a pretty good job with most of these names so far.
You're doing great. You're holding it down.
But yeah, these classic Imperial sounding stuff.
Look at that buff guy. Look at that. That gun is as big as him.
Yeah, dude.
Look at that.
Jacked. That's an RPG in his hand. He's holding like it's a freaking airsoft gun, dude. Like this guy
napalm in the morning.
Yeah, that dude look jacked. But dude, these guys look like freaking like World War I infantrymen. Like, dude, these guys look dope.
Little dope boys.
These gunpowder units. Yeah, dude. Like, dude, I think aesthetically, Japan won it for me. Is that the TC? Is that the landmark?
I don't even know.
Dude, these guys are one aesthetically.
I think the TC is going to look a bit more like, I think it's the landmark. I think the TC is going to look a bit more like a castle. I really do think it'll look more like a castle.
Dude, these buildings look amazing too. Like aesthetically, I think this is kind of why I like classic mode. You see all these details. They just look so. It's probably why I lose.
I turned down my graphics. I was doing some team games a while ago, and I actually just turned it back on again. It's like, oh man, this game's so beautiful. One of my things I need to get is actually a better, more memory and better graphics card for my computer. That's one of the things I want to get because I'm like, it's time for me to beef it up a little bit. Like it's
just go 4K.
I need to see it. Oh, dude, I wish.
Oh, dude, it's nothing to joke. I tried that, and my PC was about to literally explode. I'm like, let me try it for one game. It was not working out in my favor. But I think, this right here, this is I want it to be the TC. It probably isn't. I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
It's aesthetically, what is that towards the bottom? You see that little looks like a scroll at the bottom? Like, what is that doing down there?
Likely related to that drop off of this special relic.
Ooh,
yeah.
I like where your head's at. Yeah, that's hot. Oh yeah, dude, I'm like a pig in slop with this Japanese civilization. This is the one thing I wanted, dude. I'm so excited about this thing. There's this is just day zip.
I can't wait.
I think on the scale, it wasn't really it's like a 2-star or maybe like 1.5 star. It's not a hard civilization to play.
Yeah, I expect this will be, if Byzantines are the 3-star, I expect this to be a 2-star, which for reference, HRE is also a 2-star, which I feel like, I mean, was it who said the other day that like you could like rub your face on the keyboard and still pull off a fast castle? Tim, fun fact on that, American Jimmy, gonna shout you out. He ran, he tried what was it? HRE, and he did that actually. He did do a fast castle, like 8.5 minutes. He was in Castle Age, and I was like, oh my word, that was his first time playing him. And he managed that. And I was like, I guess it's true. I guess Tim nailed it. Like anyone can fast castle with HRE. It doesn't matter what you do. You just go for it. I can chapel into GGs.
What civ do you think is going to hard counter the Japanese? Because that's going to be my secondary main.
You're gonna see us on the ladder so much. You'll probably just farm it. I'm trying to see. So, what is they are? What are they more of a military or economic civ? Are they like more of a hybrid?
It's hard to tell.
It's hard
Sounds
to tell.
Yes.
Like we get just amount of detail to make like the most vague assumptions.
I will say Japanese does not sound overly economic. It sounds like the kind of civ that builds up momentum as things go. It doesn't sound like they have any crazy economic bonuses. Like they get a trade thing late in the game in Imperial Age. I think their economy is one of those, it's going to slow to start, but once it gets humming, it's really going. I think it's going to be just a slowly steadying game. I think they're going to be military oriented in the beginning, and then later game, they're going to be more oriented on the economy and taking over map control.
Yeah, we think they're prime age. They're prime age.
TC upgrades for the Daimyos.
Oh yeah.
Like what that is going to actually give.
It's going to have to cost something. I think you have to pay to upgrade the T. I don't think it's automatic. I think you have to upgrade the TCs as you go.
Sense. Likely.
Yeah, automatic would be a problem.
So on that, I don't think they'd be a 2 TC civ. I think they're going to be a 1 TC focus on getting your core economy humming and going. So I guess a civ that could take better map control early might be really good. So maybe like a French could be really good in that they could take map control. Joan of Arc maybe might be the way to go.
There you go, man. You might have to main the one because you already know, dude. You're gonna see this. You're gonna see this in the rank ladder. You're gonna forget
every single game.
Dude, this is gonna be in the rank ladder.
Japanese and Byzantines are gonna be every single game. Yeah.
Dude, Byzantine's apparently a 3.
And if it's not those, it's going to be the golden HRE. Like those are going to be the 3, I think.
Oh yeah. Dude, honestly, man, but like, that's the thing I'm showing about this expansion. Like, there is not a single one that's been announced that is not playable. Like that. Okay, I think sushi is going to be the least popular. Sushi is going to be one you see the least amount. So. Like that one's probably the most underwhelming, but it still looks sweet. But it's most underwhelming because the Ubits look sweet too, dude. Like I don't know, like. This is why I'm gonna lose my mind when this comes out. Cause I don't know who I'm gonna play with now. I'm gonna have to go for Japanese because these are just two. And when I'm seeing the fact that it's a 1 TC civ and you're gonna be able to be pretty much like I think this Curl Storehouse. Like I feel like that's gonna give you enough feudal push with those automatic farms that you're gonna be able to push heavy and feudal.
That's my
thought. It reminds me kind of the Ottomans of like because they can play 1 TC pretty well and. They've got that boost with the like berry bushes that generate. There.
That's an amazing landmark too. Like that's underestimated how much food it gets you.
Yeah, I do think it'll be a lot like I think Ottomans is a good comparison. I think they will be kind of feudal centric in that they're going to be desperately trying to see with Ottomans they get free units, right? With Japanese, they're going to be all the resources are going to be spent into their military. They're going to be just putting everything they can into military because they're going to be getting free farms. So they're going to be relying on the food to kind of come up as it goes. But they're going to be putting, I think, all their stuff into making enough military presence to hold their center of eco. As long as they can just keep holding. Then as they get into Castle Age, I think that's when they're going to really ramp up with the defensive landmark. Defensive TCs. So I do think I mean, again, I have no idea, but that's kind of how I expect it to play out. And that's why I'm so excited because I like that kind of play. I like the English a lot. I really enjoyed HRE, but it just feels like you're a little too vulnerable as HRE. This seems like a bit more of a not so crazy boom, more of a slow and steady. You're just kind of dominant middle late game. I kind of like that. As long as you can play and handle the early rushes and stuff, and as long as you can maybe sneak some Shinobi every now and then to kind of go harass your opponent's eco, you can just slowly kind of take some good fights and keep moving up. I think that'll be the way to play it. But again, no idea.
Well, you know what's crazy? Like a lot of our questions are kind of being answered in the rest of the update. Like I forgot we're like a week behind. So like they actually like some things. I'm seeing some things on here about the Japanese that are insane. Like based off the actual update, the overview of the actual DLC. Like it goes through each individual. Dude, I think there's something on here. I'm trying to find it. I seen.
Oh, I was going to talk about some of the masteries. We have a list of the new masteries coming up, so that gives us an idea.
Before we get there, just the bonuses. Haven't talked about every time you drop off gold or stone, you get 20% of the other one.
Yeah, I seen that.
Oh, you do?
So, that's insane.
Yeah. For every 10 gold, you get 2 stone.
That is huge.
I'm trying to find it. I guess there's like, I think it is Japanese, but they have a mangonel emplacement on their towers.
No, that's...
Who is that?
That was someone else. Japanese
someone else?
Gets rockets on their keeps.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. They got RPG emplacements. Yeah. There you go. That's what it is. Rockets on the keeps. How do we got to get into that? How the F is that going to work? What?
Yeah. I don't know if it's like nest of bees or what we're looking at. Like because Great Wall Gatehouse exists.
Yeah.
I can't imagine every keep is a Great Wall Gatehouse.
According to Beastie Cutie, that's a great reference.
I found your Japanese thing too, Sir Nevels. In Imperial Age, Japanese are able to construct castles, unique keeps with powerful rocket emplacements. There you go.
Oh, yeah. So, there you go.
Imperial Age, though.
Well, okay, it must be one of the variation civs that have mangonel emplacements, which is insane.
I'm looking it up right now.
Because I was watching BC earlier, and he was saying
the Byzantines.
Oh, there we go. That makes sense. So the other one has the mangonel emplacement. That's insane, dude.
That's gonna be fun.
That was getting near a tower and you see a freaking hall of rocks. Like, whoa, hey.
If we just scrolled up a little, it does say it now under the Byzantines on this update patch. Outpost keeps and wall towers also have a new unique mangonel emplacement.
Oh, is that actually under the Byzantines?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, so they're patching in. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, we didn't tell you at first, but yeah, they got this now too.
They fly now. They fly now.
They also get free stone every time they construct a building.
Who do?
Yeah, I heard because the cisterns are like insane. Like they're like.
I read somewhere that you can build like one of the things was building like a ton of cisterns. Like I don't think it's capped by 5. I think you can build as many as you want. Overflow. Build 10 cisterns. One of the new Byzantine achievements is overflow. Build 10 cisterns in a single match as the Byzantines. So you can at least build 10.
Oh my God, this aqueduct network is going to be probably requires a lot of stone. I also heard. Here we go. We're going back. I heard that like you can build over your buildings. Like you can build like in between your buildings.
Oh, like this, like the aqueducts.
Yeah, like the aqueduct can actually go like over stuff. Like just to like make it easier to have good water flow. But I heard that was also another speculative. I could be incorrect, but all I'm saying is this is about to be a very interesting time here. It's going to be a lot of experimenting, a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Apparently, there's still a little bit more that's not being talked about.
I'm sure there's next episode, guys, is going to be again. I don't know how we're going to get through everything. It might just.
Yeah, let's do a 24-hour stream. Let's do it.
Jeez, I don't know if I can do that, but it might be a long one. I'm longer than our normal ones. If we wanted to get through everything in one episode, it would take forever. And even then, even if we went through the entire patch notes next episode, I think we'd still have so much to talk about each week after that about each civ and how it's playing. I mean, there's gonna be just so much to go through here.
Listen, we're not getting those patch notes. We're going to be every 5 minutes. Well, how's that going to work? And I'm and then we're going to be like on the first civ. Nah, but this is they actually released more details going back to the actual official update of like the DLC as a whole. They kind of did like little highlights of every variant civ too.
Oh, here's a little thing. I'm kind of diving into the masteries now a little bit. I don't want to get through everyone, but you can kind of glean things. So Daimyo mastery, spend stone to research all town center upgrades as the Japanese. So there you go. There's stone cost for the TC for that. You can exchange gold to stone. So exchange rates convert stone to gold at forge 250 times in a single match as a Japanese. So I guess you could convert gold and stone as well as mining both? Question mark.
Huh. Possibly.
Do they act as like a trading spot as well? I don't know. Shinobi Mastermind, disable 50 buildings with Shinobi units at the Japanese. I guess you could just disable.
You can disable them, or you
like
I
guess disable it. Imagine go to the stables and just disabling it, just so you just turn them off.
Your units aren't highlighted. You're like, what's going on? I'm pressing W. What's going on? That'd be crazy. So many people are like, I think the game's bugged. Like, who are you playing? Like, you're Japanese. Like, every time I play Japanese, the game is bugged. What's going on?
We haven't talked about this too, but there is a new campaign coming in too.
That is true.
Ascend campaign is announced officially. I mean, we kind of figured there would be, but it is for sure coming in. There's a couple of different things. Capture all. I mean, there's a couple of these just to get an idea. Master Naval Traders, a campaign achievement, have 20 trade ships trading simultaneously during Raiders of the Red Sea. That sounds fun. In the lead by a quarter Nile, capture all control points into Egypt, saving the day early, eliminating all 3 enemy leaders within 30 seconds of each other during the Battle of Mansoura. And then rescue, capture all the prisoners during the invasion of Cyprus. I mean, sounds like there's some interesting. Sounds like some interesting campaign stuff coming in.
Campaign.
I mean,
this looks pretty sweet.
Prisoners, like different, like unique units you got to take down. I mean, that sounds like they're up in the ante on this one.
I mean, you got like you're fighting the Templars, Teutons, Mongols. I don't even want to say these other one. I don't know how to pronounce that, so I'm going to just not give it that a shot because it sounds silly. But I said, like we mentioned off stream, off recording. I like how it's a take place. You're playing in the Middle East, like you're defending against the European, like seeing from a different perspective. Told you there was a really interesting time piece of Crusades, but I don't know which Crusade it's going to take place, like because there are like 6 Crusades.
Series of them, yeah.
It could be a series.
Yeah, maybe going through all of them. Yeah.
Here's a fun other mastery to look at. Bear down, produce 15 cataphracts, and then trample enemy units 20 times.
Well, they're not.
That sounds fun.
Strong.
That sounds fun.
They're not going to be that strong. Actually, if you guys, I guess we're going free fall here. If you guys, they actually highlight a little bit more details on the variation civs.
Yeah.
Tell them what makes them different. Like it's in the patch. They're talking about the Ubits, Joan of Arc, Order of Dragon, and Sushi. Looks like with the Ubits, you're not researching. You know, when you go up from different wings, how you get like like a little piece of technology to kind of push you along. That's not how it's going to conduct. It's going to be a little different. The House of Wisdom, I guess, it's not going to have a House of... Okay, so there's going to be a House of Wisdom, but you're not going to get research, unique technologies. You're going to have a choice between the bonus in each wing. So maybe... Was that already discovered? Or was that like...
I think that's the first time. I think we kind of were on to that, but I think that's the first time we explicitly mentioned it in as easy to understand a way that I've heard that. That makes a lot of sense. So instead of... You have these options. You pick the wing and you pick one of the 2 bonuses from that wing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So almost like kind of like a normal age up, like you age up.
Except you have all the options still at your fingertips.
Yeah. So it's still post imperialism, pretty
sounds
nice.
Like that sounds really interesting.
With the Joan of Arc civ, you cannot. The faster researching of villagers is no longer a thing, and the cheaper research drop off building is no longer a thing.
You just get Joan of Arc.
That's fine.
That's fine.
That's a fair trade-off.
That sounds pretty fair. And then, of course, for the Order of Dragon, the Guilded units, something we kind of already figure it's going to cost more resources, time, and population.
So things are going to cost more, take more time, and more population time. More population space. That's going to be interesting.
And for the Sushi Legacy, I'm guessing it's no longer going to be a big, like, kind of surrounded around fast expansion. Okay, so the landmarks.
Yeah, Zushi sounds the most normal out of those, but it's got some fun units there too. Gosh, knowing matchups is going to be so hard now with like twice the number of civs in the game. It's going to be
these content creators are going insane. They're going to have so much content to make.
The theory crafting on what you do is going to matter of like you have a general idea what your opponent's civ wants, and it's going to be a matter of you're going to have to just play your own game. Play your own game and kind of know like what I want to do, and then can my opponent stop it, and what are they trying to do, and is it going to be anything I have to worry about? Like it's. Because normally, a lot of the civ, this game has a lot about the matchup. Like, if you're playing Rus, that's going to fundamentally change what I do as Abbasid a little bit. Like, I'm going to go 2 scouts. So that's going to slow my feudal timing down. That's, every civ and the matchup on it changes what I'm doing, right? Like, if I'm going against French, I have to have a couple spears out. Whereas if I'm playing against like Abbasid, maybe I won't.
Yeah. It's going to be exciting to see how these variation civs and new civs trade into the already released civilizations. I want to know who's going to come out on top because, we got to imagine once the game drops and the actual patch notes are coming out that they're going to probably balance and tweak some of the already released civs to kind of go and
match
keep
it.
them balanced. Yeah.
Oh, I imagine things will be. I'm curious to see what's going to be broken and what's not going to be because I imagine there's just no way they're not going to have it be completely something. Some broken stuff. Someone is going to, even with all their planning and all their effort. I mean, shout out to the devs. This is a huge expansion. Super hyped about it. Even with all of their effort they're going to put into this to try and keep it balanced right off the bat. I just know that even when you have all the testing, when you get like thousands upon thousands of players actually playing. Someone's going to find something out. Someone's going to break it somehow. Like it's just gonna be a matter of time. I'm curious what the broken strategies are going to be for a bit. And then I'm really curious what that first hot patch fix is going to be, you know, like what are the first things they're going to tweak, right? Like what unit's too powerful?
Release the game to these animals. Like they just start breaking everything. They start finding all these broken strategies immediately. Exactly. They get it and they just start losing it. And I was like, oh, there's gonna be some broken strats for sure. One thing I've also noticed, they also I seen the mastery. I guess I'm all over the place now looking at so the Byzantine mastery, one of the last ones called Reign of Fire. It says research the Greek fire trebuchet. And then destroy 20 buildings using trebuchets.
Gosh, imagine a trebuchet chucking one of those like boulders they normally do, but it's like got a flaming trail behind it. Like that just sounds like Lord of the Rings-esque almost. That's so cool.
And they released a new mechanic. They released like a new feature in the game where there's like fire that can actually be stagnant, like can actually burn in place for a little bit. I wonder if that's gonna be biome based or like just like I wonder if that's some probably research technology.
It's from the Kurosifans.
Yeah.
They're the ones that shoot the fire on the ground.
This is going to be an exciting time, boys.
Well, I want to shift gears. I want to shift gears a little bit though before we go to our break. I want to kind of take a look back we're kind of at the end of this season, right? We got like another like week essentially now. I wanted to kind of take a look back at the season. For a moment this season, I thought I was going to get up to Plat 3. I really did. I was on Abbasid and I was going. I'm actually like I'm solidly in Platinum right now, Plat 1. I really wanted to get to Plat 3. I thought I was going to break out and get there and maybe start my journey to Diamond, but and I took a 7-game losing streak.
That was the best.
Yeah, I know. It was rough. But I want to take a look at the season and see if you guys have any thoughts about this season, how it went and how you guys played and how you did. I mean, I learned a new civ this season. I didn't expect to do that going in. I was big on HRE. I had moved on from English entirely this season and was on HRE for like the entire season and most of last season. And then I moved on to Abbasid. And so now I've got like another, I can play a really good HRE game, a really good Abbasid game. And I feel like actually my English play is probably not that good anymore. I need to probably go back and pick them up for a bit and learn I think now that I feel like a better player now. And I kind of want to go back to English and see if I can translate some of those things into my play style. Because I feel like it was really fun to learn Abbasid because they just do everything well. I mean, the 2TC game, the fast cast on the Gulam, the trade on the maps like Hill and Dale has been really fun against like French. I had a French player get mad at me yesterday night saying his exact words were Abbasid's too easy of a matchup against French. But he said GG, well played. So I was like, okay, GG. I didn't say anything else, but I was like, well, that's not my fault. You didn't stop my trade and you only sent 2 knights and then just kind of pittered out and didn't actually kill any vills. But you know, whatever.
Hey, I hit him with dash 27. Yeah. Nice town.
Yeah.
That's the most disrespectful thing.
Well, he ran his like 8 knights straight into my like 25 spears. And then my archers picked off his archers. It was actually a really fun game. He was making crossbows for some reason. And I was like, dude, I'm not going to go men at arms against you. Like you got knights. Why would I ever go gulams against you? They'll just wreck. Like spears.
Sometimes some people just like making the cool units. They're like,
I guess arbitrary are a good French unit, but against Abbasid, like unless you see them like that, it just doesn't make sense. But yeah, what are your guys' thoughts? Any thoughts? I mean, this was season 5, right?
Yeah, I like the change the Mongols made. I like saying this is probably that's my like you got the Abbasid. I tried out the Mongols. And, I like at first, I feel like when the season first initially launched, people thought that the Mongols are going to be with their vampire lancers, that they're going to be a little OP. But really, honestly and truly, I really feel like the Mongols, like they became more dynamic as a civilization. Like I like civilizations that both of the feudal landmarks can both be used based on, just the map and the spawn. Mm-hmm. So like, the Mongols, like, at first it was always, oh my goodness, why my brain is now, what is the deer stones? There we go. It was always deer stones. And then maybe season 4, they realized how good the Mongol trade was if you can protect it well. And now, Mongols became even more dynamic because they basically got nerfed lancers that got, the Kashyyyk, and they're like kind of like watered down lancers that have health stealing, which is like a new mechanic in the game, and it really did determine Mongols became a little bit more powerful in the feudal age, and they kind of got a little weaker in the castle age, but I feel like, it was kind of initially frowned upon, but once they actually implemented it and got, familiar with the meta of the game, they scaled pretty well. So I like how the Mongols did. I like how, and I also really like the map queue, the map ranked player queue. Was I think it was one of the best ones we probably had.
Both of them. I think they need to update it more, but I think for both of the map pools, I've only thumbs down 2 maps.
Yeah, you really don't have to. Like, you can actually, it sounds like if you really, really wanted to, like, go crazy, you didn't have to be thumbs down anything. And it was nothing that was like, I can't remember. It was one map pool that had like Oasis. The noob is the one that was an odd one. The noob was like the one that was kind of like.
I have a confession. I have had that one downvoted this entire season.
Oh, I think most people did.
That map.
I think you were most definitely you were the norm of that one. I think a lot of people did. I tried it. I think I played like one time, and it's a very odd map to get the hang of. Like it's like it's one of those maps you spawn and kind of like if you don't have a for sure game plan. It's very
it's a weird map.
It's a very sim-centric. Yeah,
wall and trade.
Yeah, it's a weird map.
My problem with the map is the bridges that you.
Yeah, which they added in. It wasn't there at first. They added them in.
The bridges.
I think they added them in because of demo ships. Like people were like demo shipping heavy. Back when it was like before the bridges were there, you could just like take your ship all the way around the map and just like destroy whoever army was crossing that. I've done it a lot when the game first launched, back when the ships were nuclear. But yeah, I think it's a very. I mean, have we aside? Was this is the season that had all the crashes right to start?
I think so.
This is the one that So I think that was like probably the one thing people. It made up to a rocky start with all the crashes. Once that got settled in, I think it was a good season.
I've really enjoyed it. I know with the birth of my baby Sock that I kind of was still playing a little bit, but like 5 months ago I wasn't playing as every day as I have been lately. This season has really been the season that after kind of being really big on this game for like all spring, once like most early summer, I wasn't as into this game. I was just playing other things. Baldur's Gate was coming out. Just was busy, but this season just really cemented my love for the game again. Like I have just been all in on learning a new civ. Felt really good. And in fact, I know that people are flocking to the game. I've been seeing posts on Reddit time and time again, people coming in and joining the game. And I've had interactions with people in game where someone asked me like, what I do wrong? Like, what can I do? And I was like, well, you did this and that, but you should check out the Griat Bara. You should check out like the Extra Sheep. Go check out the communities and get involved. And it was kind of fun. I actually did shout out the Griat Bara. This random guy.
Gotcha. Shout out. Appreciate it. Shout out. Everybody welcome.
Yeah, it's been fun to see with like the Xbox release. It was just everyone just flocking to this game.
Yeah,
I feel like this game.
Forgot about that.
For a game that had a bad start, this is like doing so well. And I think this I saw a thing. I think someone posted, was it in our Extra Sheep chat, that Grubby might be coming back to the game for a little bit with the expansion? Yeah.
Yeah, with Viper. With Viper too.
That is huge because honestly, Grubby was the streamer who I watched the most when I was looking at this game and wanting to play. I watched
Grubby a lot too. Yeah,
my favorite streamer Arios, who plays a bunch of other games usually, was playing this game for a day, and I just kind of saw him play, and I was like, oh my gosh! Like I saw him put up a bunch of expos on a stone wall, and I remember playing Age of Empires 3 and Empires 2, and be like, you can put guys on walls now. That's so cool. I want to do that. The game looked really cool. And then I saw, looking at other streams, because he only played just for like a day or two with some friends, but I wanted to take a look at like actual streamers of this game because it just looked really fun. And Grubby was the name that was one of the top streamers at the time. Just from the time zone I was in, it just kind of worked out. I loved the way he broke. I mean, as far as like a guy who is a content creator and a player, I thought his was some of the best content. The way he just described things, the way he explained the math behind certain decisions. I really loved his style of stream. It's actually a shame we don't have more of that because he was really good at breaking stuff down like that. Like I should try and do better at being like that, but he's just a high level player at those kind of things. For him and like Viper to come back, like that tells you this game's in a good spot.
Hope Viper stays. I doubt it, but I hope he stays.
I hope
That'd be cool.
I hope Grubby plays more often. I mean, if it's not every day, I hope they both like dabble a bit more.
He's going crazy in Dota.
Yeah, I've been noticing that. I'm still following him. I almost unfollowed because I just don't care about Dota, but
Dota and Warcraft.
I don't have the heart to do it.
Warcraft 3. But yeah, the Viper was probably one of the people, like, that was the first player I recognized. Like, I didn't know there was even a pro scene in Age of Empires. And I heard, like, Viper was like a pro. I'm like, how are you a pro AoE player? I don't get how you do that. And I watched his gameplay and I said, oh, okay, there we go. That's how they are. That's how they are. Okay, now it makes sense. But yeah, he was his dog, man.
On this season, season 5, my thoughts, like, this introduced Ghazi Raiders and Gulam. Like,
oh yeah,
I think we forget that it was such a cool season because there were no new civs introduced, but the things that they introduced shook up the civs so much. This was the first season, I believe, that had the 2 spears, 2 archers spawning on military wing openings for Abbasid, where before it was just boot camp that you got. Same thing with the traders from Trade Wing, which made those 2 wings very viable in feudal, where military was always an afterthought because, of course, you're either going eco or culture. Also, this is the season that preservation of knowledge decreased the age up cost.
That's such a I love what that does to Abbasid. Sorry, not to take over for a second. Just I love that now Abbasid has. That's why I've loved the Civ so much coming into this season. Like you have eco wing if you want to go town centers. You've got military wing if you're going to get pushed early and you need to like defend stuff off. And you've got preservation of knowledge if you want a fast castle, and then trade wing if you need to go trade. It's so good.
Beautiful.
Oh man,
they're all
I just love
viable
that
now, which is fantastic. For me, it's been a pretty good season. I hit Diamond last season. I've got the grind for this during this week. If I want to hit it again this season, I got up to Plat 3. I think I got 1 or 2 games away.
Yeah, I thought for a moment I was gonna. I thought I was like rubbing shoulders with Plat 2. I thought I was gonna get there. Then I had that terrible day. I thought for a moment, like, man, I'm on a winning streak. Abbasid's feeling good. Like, I thought I was going to get to Plat 3. I was like, it's time. I'm ready to ascend in this game a little bit and become like an actual good guy at this game. And then I didn't.
You can do it.
I'm still on Plat.
Listen, boys, what are you guys aiming for next season? I'm sorry.
Next season?
What is your ending rank? Okay, Diamond.
I'd love to end Diamond.
Plat 3.
Can we meet him? Can we meet him? I think you can meet him, man. Let's just.
You think we
can meet him there in Diamond. I feel like we go hard enough. I feel we can do it.
Gentlemen, join me.
Listen, we're at a point now. We are setting a standard in the community. We got to be dogs now. Okay, we got to get.
I know. I hate that I'm like.
I'm cutting off video games. Besides AoE4, I'm going in. I'm diving. I said the same thing last year every season, but I mean this now.
I've finally moved into like a permanent place where I was bouncing in between like residences throughout the last season. So I'm playing every day now. Like I wasn't able to play every day. Like I'm looking back at my AoE4 world. I only played 1 game over the past week. We've been talking this entire time. I've booted the game up. I'm ready. Like, what are we still talking for?
Man, I definitely.
I'm trying to get in. Let's go.
I usually play Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I usually play. Then I'll play on Saturdays more often than not. And sometimes on Sunday on a podcast day, sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. It depends on the week. But I usually am getting 3 days a week. And sometimes I'll mix in other streams with like other games. But I have been grinding the AoE hard more than not. And I really thought I was going to get to Plat 3 this week. Diamond sounds tough. That sounds tough.
Dude.
I love Sir Nevels. When you say like you're going all in, that just reminded me of like just
030 going dark.
Like that's all I heard. That's all I heard from you. That's all I heard.
I've uninstalled every game. Locking in, man.
You gotta realize that the difference between Plat 1 and Plat 2 is the same difference as Plat 2 and Diamond 1.
Yeah.
Plat 1 to Plat 2 is 100. Plat 2 to Diamond 1 is 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The fact that it's a 50 jump is like nothing. Yeah. I am like eager to get into Plat 3 because I feel like I'm like right there. I'm like right there.
On the 14th, when you boys are done with working, man, join me. Let's get it. We're going in on the 14th.
Now here's a question though. It's going to be tough because we're going to have so many new civs and new matchups to do. So the question is, would it be better to stay with an old civ and just grind out that against a bunch of guys on new civs, or would it be better to pick up the new civ and be off meta from what people are used to and go
all
that
the variants?
Route? All the variants?
Going with variants. That's what it's. I'm going to go because I know a little bit of French, so I'll just go Joan of Arc. Basically French.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
close enough.
I think I'm gonna be Japanese. I'm gonna do the Gilded HRE boys. And I think I'm gonna Japanese. And you know what? I'm gonna stick with some Abbasid. I think I've been having so much fun with that. I don't want to abandon it. Like on certain maps, I think I'm gonna keep up with Abbasid.
Yeah. Give their cousins another place.
Oh, we didn't mention this as much, but I think Japanese are gonna be an excellent water civ.
Oh yeah,
they mentioned they have cheaper or better fishing boats or something like that. I think they're gonna be an excellent water civ.
They didn't give details, but something about improved fishing.
No details about any of this.
They mentioned maybe I think it was cheaper fishing ships. They mentioned getting them out faster. So
I bet they're gonna look cool. I bet they're gonna look a little different. They're gonna look pretty sweet.
I'm excited for that.
I'm excited. Japanese are gonna be the best.
Well,
civ. Okay.
I'm really excited for this season to end. I'm also still glad I've got another couple days to kind of keep enjoying what I've been enjoying. It's been a good time. Mm-hmm. But that said, should we take a quick break and get on to our Reddit posts?
All right, sorry.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I am going to go get some water for real because I am parched.
Like I said,
I got to take a break.
Yes, sir.
This is your captain speaking. We've just hit our cruising altitude of 10,000 feet, so you are now free to move about the cabin, though we ask you keep your seatbelt on in case we encounter any unexpected turbulence. It should be pretty smooth flying for the next few hours, so sit back, relax, enjoy the blue skies. It's now safe to use your electronic devices as well, and I'd like to remind you that here on Jeanne d'Arc Airlines, we offer complimentary Wi-Fi. Now that we're on autopilot, I myself will be cracking out my own laptop and playing some Age of Empires 4. If anyone else aboard wants to know a good tip on how to play that game, it's super easy. Just build a stable, select it, spam that W key, and then get a bunch of knights. Go and raid your opponent until they surrender. Seriously, super easy. So again, sit back, relax, enjoy the blue skies, and play some AoE, and the flight attendants will be around very shortly to offer our complimentary beverages and Biscoff cookies, brought to you, of course, for free by our good friends at www.moreknights.com. Until then, we have a few hours till we land, so have an enjoyable flight.
All right, and we are back. We were just having an enthralling discussion about pizza and some of our local pizza places. If you want to hear that, you can, of course, join the Patreon, and I'll post it down there. So, anyways, we've got some Reddit posts to look at.
Ooh.
And man, we were talking about food. I actually am just really hungry. That was a mistake.
Ab's the best of us.
All right.
Get some carbs in before recording. Yes, you got it.
I really should. The problem is I'm always really busy right before this, and I come like rushing home, and I just don't have time to eat. First post is a meme. It's like that classic, like the meme, the two buff guys, like gripping hands, joining hands. Yeah, joining hands. The one is the deli flag. It says build a keep as a TC. The other one is the what is this? Build a TC as a keep. That's the Japanese, I believe.
Yep, it is.
So yeah, just wanted to note that they're doing some cool things with villager production and TCs and keeps.
Was there a detail? I remember. So keeps now are like really strong.
Well,
keeps
deli can make.
Yeah, like what? So wait, the TC. Wait, build a TC as a keep.
The Daimyo, I don't know.
Yeah, what is that upgrade?
Wait, defenses.
It sounds like it turns into like a shogunate castle is what it calls it in the end.
Yeah. So, okay. So
to me, keep castle like tomato, trolley bus. Yeah. Like it's the same thing here.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, this is gonna be. Oh, because now they're kind of comparing the. Oh, I didn't get the Japanese and deli impression.
Yeah, they're comparing the fact that like one is a TC that turns into a keep, the other is a keep that can turn into a TC. Just kind of fun. I saw that. I was like, that's kind of fun.
Yeah. That's silly.
It's cool how the devs can continually to find new ways to make new civs that are very asymmetric. I mean, think of this compared to AoE 2, right? Like, there's still so many more options. I have no doubt they could still add more civs and keep them. We were kind of wondering before, but in the dark days, before we knew this was all coming, we were like, what can they possibly do, right? What new civs could they make? Like, what they're going to run out of ideas, right? No, there's so many things they could still do.
They prove their worth. They prove their worth for sure. Like, they prove why it's a gap in coding. Like, they know what they're doing. They
top comments actually really funny. The Japanese, we are not the same. That's great.
I'm gonna be linked for those guys.
And then another one has a French build TC as a machine gun with the red palace bonus they get.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I seen that in the tournament scene.
That's nuts. Crazy. Actually, for anyone who doesn't know, that is nuts. If you guys don't, any listeners who maybe are lower level and don't know much about French have the red palace, right? Which is just insane. Gatling gun shooting out, I think, arbaletier shots.
Yeah.
Insane. When they get that upgrade, their TCs fire those shots too. Which is nuts, but basically
initial one shot is an ARB shot, not all of them.
Not all of them, but like still,
is all of them.
Yeah, but still a TC having that one initial shot. I mean, that's still. I mean, that's some serious damage. I mean, that's armor piercing damage.
Very good against rams too. Like, it takes rams out. Which is that's an issue.
Anyways, that wasn't much I had on. I just thought that was a funny meme. There've been a lot of memes lately. It's getting hard to find good discussions on the subreddit. So everyone's really getting kind of fun. This is the next one from Cranksignig. He says, "Make keeps great again." I've been playing a couple of team games recently, and this is a discussion. I don't necessarily agree with this take. This is just the take. I've been playing a couple of team games recently, and on several occasions had my boiling oil upgraded keep sieged down by melee armies. To me, it seems that this should not be so easy, and at least you should need siege to bring down a keep that has boiling oil. So for anyone who doesn't know, boiling oil used to be a lot better and a little bit cheaper, I think, and it got nerfed pretty heavy. Boiling oil is kind of not that it's useless, but not nearly as good as it was.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I've definitely noticed this where keeps don't feel as tough anymore. I think overall it's kind of a good thing.
I like it.
It makes it easier to kind of dive in, and you don't get into gridlocks quite as much. But at the same time, I understand if you're going to be able to if you're going to put in now 900 some odd stone to get a keep, it's now more expensive. It'd be nice if those upgrades had a bit more punch. I get what he's saying. Like, if you had just a bunch of horsemen torching down your keep, that'd feel kind of bad. I get that. Like that. So I think there is a balance. Maybe the pendulum swung just a little far, or maybe if boiling oil is going to be as expensive as it is, maybe it should do a little bit more. So if you are going to invest that money resources into it, it is at least worth that. I don't know. I could see an argument for that. I don't think I want keeps to go back to being 800 or whatever stone. I like the 900. I do think boiling oil could use a bit of a buff personally, even if you want to keep the price increase on that. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I would say, I'll probably say I agree with you. I see where they're coming from with because boiling oil used to be insane prior. Like, I mean, you would say you rush down to keep with men at arms. Like, you turn boil oil. I can't. Whoa, I had a stroke there. Turn boiling oil on there, and then you fight with your keep, and it will literally turn the tide of battle. I get where he's coming from, because I get actually what you're saying, Sock, about if you're going to make it more expensive and make the technology cost more, then maybe either keep the same, make it now you're paying for the quality, you're paying for all that.
Mm-hmm. But
at the same time, it did kind of turn games into a stalemate underneath the keep, because really a lot of times you wouldn't even think to rush your army. You just kind of just hang out and make towers and then wait for your treacheries to come up. And there'll kind of be a little bit of pause and maybe bring down momentum of a game, especially lower league. Because a lot of times people kind of forget about going around keeps. Sometimes me, I stop at a keep, but I can't go around it.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times, you'll focus so heavy on getting down a keep that you'll kind of just stay stagnant while you wait for trebuchets to come up to the G move or getting visibility. Mm-hmm. So it is. So now giving more it's not completely done, but it can if you have the mass, it can be just straight up ran down by horsemen or knights or men at arms. So I see both sides, but if you ask me, I lean more towards where the keeps are at now, because I wasn't a big fan of mass.
Keeps are fine.
Yeah, I think keeps are fine. Because before, remember, they were everyone just pre-built keeps on resources ahead of time.
Yeah.
And that was like then it was just a big thing. So I think they're fine.
I think they're in a good spot. I do kind of miss. I would almost be willing to up the price on boiling oil a little bit more, but at least make. I would like to see a little bit of a buff to that, just a little bit to make that feel
tiny bit.
Yeah, sure, but increase the price a little bit too. I think the price should be steep. Like I don't think anyone. I don't want to see popping it. And I think maybe boiling oil. I don't know if it's per. I think once you get it, it goes to all keeps. I think maybe you do it by keep.
No, I don't believe. I think it's keep by keep. I think
is it a keep by keep or is it? I'm pretty sure it's for all of them.
I think it's a tech. It's a tech, not a replacement.
Yeah. Oh, really? So it goes to everything.
Yeah. I think you should.
I think yes.
I'm thinking make it a instead of a tech, maybe increase the cost, make it more powerful, or make it an upgrade for a keep.
I think
that's
expensive. If you make it as an emplacement on the keep,
yeah.
I did not know it was a tech. I thought it was like it's not like a bombard emplacement.
No, it's a tech that all keeps get.
What?
So it is worth picking up. It is worth picking up, but the radius has gotten a lot smaller. It's just doesn't feel as worth. I mean, if I'm an Imperial, I will pick it up. But it doesn't feel as impactful as it because in Castle Age back in the day, you pick that up on your keeps and you put the investment into it. It made a difference. Like they had to then siege your keeps down. They couldn't just rush you with a bunch of spears and knock it down. Like they can basically do that right now because they can just torch it down now. I would like to see as an emplacement maybe so you can. I don't know. I just like to see it be a little more useful because I like having the option. I like having options in the game. I also understand why they did nerf it in the first place. And I don't want to just undo that either, right? Because I don't want to go back to what it was. I think we can continue to improve it. But there's a discussion to be had there, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Next on the list, we're just cranking through
one red flag with this next Reddit post. This is an issue.
I'm pulling these Reddit posts. I don't necessarily means I agree with any of these thoughts, but any counter against horse rush. That's the right
first I'm saying they're playing on Black Forest. This is a no-go. This is the first issue right here. You don't want to be on this
on Black Forest.
Exactly. This is insane. Like this is what kind of listen. This is why Black Forest is a man.
This is not a horse rush. This is an end of game Imperial everything all in rush.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like a Black Forest or some kind of crazy team game mosh pit of just horses. And it says any counter against the horse rush. And I just kind of saw it. It's like, I'll just put it on here and just see what we think about it. Because obviously the counter to horse rush is obviously spears or janissaries.
Okay, wait. I'm looking at OP clarifies further into the thread. Someone's like, what do you mean by rush? The clock says 40
plus minutes. Yeah.
And it's like, it was the fifth time they came in, and I called it a rush because they rushed in with 100 units.
This is actually harder to really break down how to do this than said. It's easier said than done because when you get horseman rush, especially knights of this magnitude through your base, you can mass out spears, but the amount of damage you do to your economy. It's it is kind of hard to give a definitive answer how to get rid of this.
It's what do you do against 40 rams?
Right. Don't
let them get 40 rams.
Yeah, don't let them get 40 rams.
It's at 40 minutes. Why haven't you pressured them so that they don't have 100 Royal Knights running through your base?
Yeah, it's how do I stop my opponent from getting a million Delhi elephants and tearing my stuff down? I actually almost stopped it with gunners. I did a 2v2 team game. It was awful. I lost. I creamed the first guy. Erin, my wife, was playing. We were doing 2v2s and she got destroyed. But I ran down this Delhi guy's base almost entirely. He went Imperial back in his friend's base and somehow had the resources to pump out a million elephants. And I held for another 20 minutes before he finally got me. And I just I just couldn't keep up.
He might use the landmark that allows him to produce elephants.
I think he had to have. I think that's what it was. And I saw it and I just ran out of steam because he had built enough elephants within 5 minutes of me tearing his whole base down for me to get to the side of the map. It was if it was a 1v1, I'd have had him because I basically was playing a 2v1. I was really mad. Anyways. Yeah. So the answer is don't let them get that many elephants. Don't let them get that many rams. Don't let them build that many horsemen. If you're going that long in the game, don't let them get that leverage. And that's, of course, this is way easier said than done. But at that point, you should be spamming as equal number of things as well. And hopefully stonewalling in your base and going into theirs instead. You just got to win the game at that point. You just got to outplay them. When you get to that point, no amount of spears in the world are going to stop that many units at once.
And don't play Black Forest.
And don't play Black Forest. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be upset.
Jeez,
you're gonna be upset at some point playing this map. You're gonna be upset. Like I'm looking at how the map laid out. Like they pretty much like got control. They have them all back into their base, starved out.
Yeah,
like this is
you don't stop this ram rush. This is you just lost the game.
Yeah, this is a rough map to go through this. And I think anybody be going through this. Like if you're not walled off properly, yeah, like this is rough. It's like they had them walled in.
Yeah.
It's a rough game.
Our next question is actually for our resident Ottomans main. Someone at Imperatorus AOE wanted to know, how do you deal with very late game Ottoman comp? Yes, I know. Some people think, well, don't let the Ottoman reach this stage unharmed. Sure. Now I'm playing mostly free-for-all, so sometimes you just end up with the Ottoman in final. Then I struggle a lot with them. What would you do when he spams Janissaries, Men-at-Arms, and Great Bombards? I was playing China, my cav became pretty useless and they wouldn't beat the Jans in large numbers, obviously. My infantry didn't really stand a chance either, while my range were decimated quite rapidly through they traded well. Not sure my nest of bees were dealing some damage, but I could never reach those freaking bombards, and they would eventually beat my army. He had 2 Ribaldiquin just nearby. Note, I was attacking his wonders, so he had a close reproduction and support from defensive buildings. Really, I can't see how to deal with this comp. Of course, he mixed in a couple of other units, but that was his main comp. I feel this is the only civ I have no idea how to deal with. Maybe some extra sprinkles would have helped to deal with the bombards, but I have the feeling that they would have been eaten alive anyways. So yeah, I guess maybe Beale, late in the game, when I've noticed this too, when Ottoman starts fielding a bunch of bombards and they have like some Janissaries, it does feel pretty hard to get in there and take care of stuff. What have you seen that's most effective, Beale?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point that he's talking about free for all, because otherwise it's like, yeah, don't let them build that many elephants, rams, bombards, etc. Yeah,
right.
With their comp, and he's also not mentioning they probably had a couple imam in there with the AOE heals as well. That makes the late game auto comp really good now. But honestly, Janissaries, Men-at-Arms, Great Bombards, you've got a I mean, you can go crossbows and Jugs. I mean, this dude is China. Jugnus will eat up the Janissaries. Crossbows eat up the Men-at-Arms. You can add in a nest of bees, but do have multiple springolds for the Great Bombards. I mean, they do take a while to build, and they do cost a lot. But if you use your Clockwork Siege Workshop to create Clockwork Springolds, with the extra HP, they're going to survive a little longer. I mean, Bombards can one-shot normal Springolds. I don't know if they can do Clock Tower Springolds. I can't remember off the top of my head. But, I mean, if he's got like 8 Great Bombards, now you're kind of in trouble. His spread formation, though, get their Jugs on the Janissaries, crossbows on the Men-at-Arms, or just, build up some static defenses and mass Fire Lancers and just try to landmark snipe them.
Oh, man, nothing's worse than getting landmark sniped by a bunch of Fire Lancers. It's one of the worst feelings in this game.
I admire you too, Bill. It's hard to give advice on free-for-all. Like, I don't know. Like, I'd be like, dude, I don't know. Like, I play free-for-all. By the time you get to the late game, like everybody's just so much. You gotta
just keep your eco going. It's all about round. It almost becomes all about eco at that point, and then production. Yeah. Just always be producing. Always have eco.
Yeah.
Don't go below 100 villagers. Because I've noticed a couple of games that I've gone late that I've played recently, in just team games. If I'm sitting at like 60 some odd vills or 70 vills, because I've lost 20 or something like that because of a raid, I'm dying. Like you gotta get back in that. You can't let your eco lag.
It's like that's like literally the name of the game of AoE 4 period. Like once your ego really falls under, whew, yeah, it's a rough one. It's a rough way to come back.
Our next discussion here. This is a fluffy post. I like this from Al Posen. I'm sure if anyone who's been following this community very, very closely, I'm sure you've heard about Beastie Cutie's color tier list.
Yes, I watched it.
This is a meme of the guy trying to like explain on the board, and he's writing really fast. It's like plat players explaining why green is the best color after watching Beastie Cutie's video. And I definitely feel the sentiment behind this post. Honestly, I'm just gonna say it. Unless you're colorblind, which some people are, but in general, I don't think the color you pick makes a freaking darn difference in the game. No, I really don't. hot take. I don't think it makes a difference. Anyone saying otherwise is just peddling something. I'm sorry, but I disagree with BC. I don't care if green or blue because they blend in. Bull crap, dude. Bull crap. You can see the units. Sorry, they're bright neon colors, and it's gonna depend on what biome you're on and whatnot. Like I don't think it matters. I'm a teal bro for life. Sue me. Just saying. Pick a color you want. Don't let meta. It's like those people who picked in Fortnite who always chose like female skins because they think the hitbox is somehow smaller. Yeah. So if you are a color like worship guy and you are like, I have to pick this color because that's what the science. No, you're just like one of those people who picks the female skins just because you think the hitbox is somehow better. That is so dumb. It is I just can't see you getting any benefit from it. Just pick your favorite color. Gosh. Okay. Rant over. There you go. That's my hot take.
Listen, man. I think I kind of disagree.
Oh no.
Like, listen.
Oh no. You're one of them. You're one of them.
Listen. I think from like B to like C, like what's that? The D. Like, okay, I think like the middle ones, like, yellow, orange, purple, pink, and like teal. I don't think those really matter for the most part. But one thing some things I can agree with. I do really believe that the worst color in the game to play, like is red. I think red is the most visibly, like if your opponent, like for example, I realize that a lot of pro players, like for example, the Muslim, he plays always when he's not playing a team game, which he doesn't ever really. He always keeps his colors in the UI on team based rather than unique. So no matter what, like, so he say he's playing a water map, he can still choose blue or choose another color, green, for example. But when the game spawns, maybe the opponent will see him as green, but he will see himself as blue and the opponent as red, no matter what color they choose. And red is so easy to spot on the map. Like, say, for example, like you have your map UI blown up to the biggest, and then you just like, it's so hard to creep red in for like a raid or something. You will immediately see those red dots pop up. Like, there's no way to camouflage red. Whereas, like, they say blue is really good on water. If you're playing a water map, choose blue because your opponent is not going to be able to really tell what unit comp you're making or how much you have on the map or how much you have on water. Green, they say green, you blend in with the berry bushes. Sometimes you might think you're a berry bush. It's like, it's not nothing that's going to make it, but you're not going to be like, oh.
That's why HRE is always yellow, so they blend in with the relics.
Is that like, yeah, me, I kind of always choose the color of like the flag for the Civ because that just kind of makes it look more aesthetically pleasing. But I do believe, I don't think it's like the way he broke it down in his video was like, dude, listen, bro, I'm still gonna get cooked no matter what color I'm telling you. It's like depending on who I'm playing. If you're playing bad, you're playing bad. If you're playing good, you're playing good. Color really doesn't come.
I just don't see it being a big enough. Like I don't doubt that maybe it is a little bit.
One day, give it a shot. Put it on just like team-based colors for one game and like play every time you play a game, no matter what. They're always red.
Sir Nevels, let me rephrase this. If you're losing a game in this game, it's not because of the color you picked.
I gotta find any reason possible why I'm losing. Okay, I gotta find any reason there is. I'm finding any scapegoat, any excuse.
Beale, you're the arbiter here.
With Odd Job, you played with Odd Job every time on GoldenEye when you were a kid, right?
You said what now?
Odd Job. Do you remember on GoldenEye 64? I guess I'm dating myself. But all the characters,
I really want to be there for you.
Yeah. But Odd Job was literally like half a hitbox smaller because he was like a little midget.
Everybody else, of course, that's me.
He get into fights with like that one guy who would come over, only play Odd Job, and he was the only character that was shorter than all of the other characters.
Oh, dude, that's beautiful. Oh, yeah, now you're talking about, okay, yeah, dude, bro.
I remember it.
As a child, dude, I almost got choked out of so many sleepovers, man, because I'm screen peeking. I'm doing everything I gotta do to win, man, okay? I gotta do what I gotta do, man, all right, dude? Listen, man, any way you can have an advantage.
So Beale, what do you weigh in on this?
I fall down in Socerton's court on this.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
ever really been an issue. Although in AoE 2, I know they had gray as one of the colors.
That would be something.
Was tough. That one's actually tough.
You're like, oh, he surrendered. Wait a minute, what's going on? That'd be horrible, dude.
I wouldn't mind like a black. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
It wouldn't be good on like Hollow's Hearth. Hollow's Hearth would be a bit rough, but like otherwise, I mean, that'd be kind of that'd be a fun color to have.
Yeah, I feel like that's like an elite army. Like that look like I don't know if you guys watch Game of Thrones, like the Unsullied. Like that'd be like a nice little black would be cool. I think white or gray, that's too much to surrender.
Yeah, that's
like dude, I'd be like, oh, what's going on? Why did the game cut out and they're still attacking me? But any team games that would be horrible. You're like, oh, where'd you go? Yeah, like, that'd be rough. That'd be rough. But yeah, no, I didn't. I mean, kind of silly. I think color matters.
I really don't think. I think it's definitely kind of funny that it's blown up so much because I'm just like, really, like, guys, this does not matter that much. I know, and you know, I don't.
You can say anything.
I like Tim referenced it. I was listening back to our episode a little bit ago. He referenced that like the best players aren't always necessarily the best content creators and vice versa. And it definitely is true. Nothing against Beastie. Like I wish him completely well. To me, he's an okay content creator. I don't love his stuff, but I definitely see he is the best player in the game, and he does have a lot of good insight.
On this podcast, I guess.
I guess
he's out here. We lost him.
I would love to have him on here.
We lost him.
I would love to have him on the podcast. He would be excellent. I don't know. This thing in particular is just kind of funny to me.
It's very rare any game that like the best player is like the biggest streamer too. I feel like a lot of it goes like there is like for example like Marine Lord. I probably think he's the best, but like he really just streams his tournament games and that's about it. It's to prove he's not cheating because people are probably like this dude's cheating.
After all the stuff with B, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a classic right there.
I don't know. So I guess my problem is I don't like the way the community treats some of the top players. Like when they say something like that, like obviously he's probably being. I would think that B was being. I mean, not B. Sorry, Beastie. Like obviously he said like yeah, it's a consideration, I guess. But then I would imagine he's not thinking that like everyone needs to suddenly play as green and blue. And then everyone seems like not that everyone's doing this, but then everyone's gonna. I know there have been people, and maybe people who listen to this podcast who are like have only done green and blue because of that. Then
100%.
And it's like, dude, like guys, I promise you, and I know I'm not the best player in the game. I get it, but hear me out. I don't think it matters that much. Like I have seen no scientific research on as to why. Until AoE 4 World shows me, and I can see a page showing wins percentage by color.
They should actually do that.
I won't believe it until I see it. Now, if they post that and suddenly it's a thing and suddenly I have to completely eat my words, I get it. But then again, I would argue that causation and correlation are not the same thing here.
Just gotta realize that Beastie's like the top 0.0001% of the game.
If you lose to Beastie, it's not because of your color. Like it just isn't gonna be that. Yeah. He's like, not winning because he's picking green. He's winning because he's just incredibly good. Okay.
BC do one thing on a ranked tournament match and you see it 20 times in a ladder. Like it's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? These are just our idols. These are our heroes.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but sorry. I was serious. I'm coming across as like a Beastie hater. I'm really not.
Yeah, he's a great. Scratch him off the guest list.
He's a great guy. I'm sure. Maybe he just isn't my favorite streamer personally. He's great though. He's such a good player. He's phenomenal. Like all power to him. All right.
I respect him. He stuck through the Doom ages. He stuck.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, you know what? He did. Complete and utter props to him.
I got respect for him.
Maybe he had inside knowledge, though. Who knows? That's the conspiracy theory. Okay.
We're not getting him, man. We're not getting him now.
I guess I've scared him off. Yeah, I'm sure. I'd be amazed if he's even. Again, I'd be amazed if he's even listened to our podcast. If you are there, Beastie, we'd love to have you on the show. Send us anything. We'll just reach out. We'll say yes. All right. Next post here is never played any AOE. Is it too late to start? Someone posted this and they said update. Yes. The big thing is I want to say the update was thanks. Bought 4 on Steam and playing the Art of War training until I get silver on all of them. They are. I put this here just mostly to kind of show that like this game is growing, and this is one of those things I saw that I was like, oh wow, like we really are getting an influx of new players, and the release of the update, the expansion hasn't even hit yet. Like we're still like days away, so I don't know. That just made me happy to see that people are coming to the game. I remember those dark days. We were getting worried. Sir Nevels was like the one guy who was like shouting like, "Oh, it's happening!" But I felt like he was like that meme where like he's got the happy face mask on, but he's like crying underneath the mask. You know, that was kind of Sir Nevels like trying to like fight the doom and gloom there. But
that's back in my paranoia schizophrenic days, and I was just like the dude just yelling outside the minute.
Think about where this game was back in like April. I mean, we're
it was a little rough.
so much better.
I don't know. Yeah, because April, that was like a big.
Well, whatever the layoffs got announced.
April, that was around March and April.
That was the lowest point. The layoff.
Then throughout June, like May and June, it was getting kind of rough. It was like there was some definitely doom and gloom. And then I remember when the event came by. What was it? That's the event that we were expecting the announcement and it didn't come.
The Xbox event.
Yeah,
dude. I was talking crazy about that event. Yeah, I was talking crazy. And I remember I watched that in theater, and I was like, "Oh God, this is not I was like, this is not looking good."
But no, it's in a good spot, and I think one of the big things, like he was asking, like, I want to give this game a shot, but I don't want to be stomped by people. And it's like, yeah, come to AoE 4. People who play AoE 2 have been playing for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It actually might be too late AoE 2. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll say it. It's a little bit late to jump on the AoE 2 bandwagon. It really is. Like, you're not going to get super competitive in that game. The guys who've been playing, I've been playing for as long as I've been alive at this point, almost. Not that you can't enjoy AoE 2. I mean, everyone should go and enjoy AoE 2 if they want to. Like, it's a great game. Highly recommend. The campaigns alone make it worth it. So definitely do that. But
I'm looking at the last statement. He asks if it's better to play AoE 2. Ooh, I don't want to
I would say. I mean, I'll be honest. I think AoE 4 is better. I've been saying that for a while. I think this update cements that, and this update is an excellent window for people to get in on the game because everyone is going to be starting fresh again. Now, I noticed myself that learning Abbasid did not take that long for me. I was able to pick it up pretty quickly. I think that's a testament to how far I've come in the last year as a player. Like, I can pick up a civ and actually start playing. I've played against it enough. I kind of know what's up. With some help from friends, of course. But with brand new civs and really new civs and mechanics that nobody knows, the meta is going to be up in the air until BC comes out and says something.
Oh, yeah.
But
the Lord
we
BC
got some time. This is a great time to get in on the game because of that huge meta shift we're about to have. This is going to be the biggest shift in meta that we've seen since release almost. Like, flat out.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. And no comparison. Yeah, and I think, like he said, he wanted to know if it's better to play AoE 2. Just like sometimes, man, just don't look at the numbers. Everybody looks at AoE 2 has triple the amount of players. Is it better to play AoE 2? Like, you know what, man? Just look at it, man. Just AoE 4 is the new kid on the block. It's going to be hard to kind of get in and rub elbows with the vets. But if you ask me, I mean, the first comment I see on this Reddit post is you're going to get wrecked in both for a while. And either one you play, you're going to get, it's going to be, it's a trial by fire with AoE 4.
Yeah, if you've never played RTS before, you gotta put in your licks.
You're speaking to somebody who's their first RTS ever. I'm telling you, it was a rough go at it, but I stuck with it, and it's a very enjoyable experience. The one thing I will say, probably about the AoE 2 community and 4, is that everyone is super welcoming and willing to help. So, if you just find a Discord or something, just find somebody to practice back and forth with, you'll be smooth. Everyone, this is like for new players is a super welcoming community, more than any other community, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy because you see people posting, complaining about toxicity and people being in multiplayer matches. And then you got to realize that only happens less than 1% of the time.
That's a rare
such an outlier that
listen. When you come from the hard streets of FPS, listen, this is this is a glory. You play horrible, and somebody just like GG. You're like, oh, thank you, so I really tried. Thank you. And then somebody even give you tips, like, man, maybe if you just kind of protect your trade better, you'll be like, you know what, man, you're right. Nothing better than losing the game and you guys have a dialogue on why you lost.
Right.
That's where I made 5 minutes. That's where I've made friends. I've made friends with people talking about that. I think of again, I'll shout out. This is the second episode in a row I've shouted out Papa Bear, but he was one of those guys who was like, "Yo, what did I do wrong?" Or we chatted like it was a good game, and now I've got a friend. He's in the Discords. He's listening to the podcast probably right now.
Game.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this game and this community is that it's a great place, and and people like us make it so much better, right? Right.
Of course.
This is part of the show where we clap ourselves in the back.
We gotta get that. Yeah. We're just awesome. Yeah, we're just awesome that we do about
We're just so great. We're so good.
We're just great. We're great.
This in all seriousness, though, this game and the community around it is really awesome, and it has been one of the reasons I've stuck with it so much myself. Is that it's just a good place to be. It's fun. Next post. This is really fun. This is a new meta ? And I don't know how I'm going to describe this for the podcast viewers. You almost just got to see it to believe it. This guy, you know how you can aggress. For those who don't, you can make a boar aggro. You can aggro the boar, and then he'll follow whatever attack for a moment. This guy, normally the boar doesn't go too far. So he'll aggress and try to attack you, then go back to his little home spot. Kind of like the way the wolves do. You used to be able to kite wolves all the way back to your base. Now they just kind of go back home. This guy has a wall almost completed. He aggresses the boar and gets the boar to follow his scout into his wall. Then he finishes the wall. And then the boar, in order to get back to its home, has to go all the way around, which conveniently is back at his town center. And so he kills it right next to his town center and has the boar.
What is time to discover you can do this?
I know, right?
I would have never thought to do this.
Me neither, but I saw it. It just made me laugh. I was like, this is so great.
That's
I love
insane.
it. That's like 4,000 food right there.
Yeah, dude, right into
There's
TC.
no way you could pull that off in the middle of the game.
Like you gotta be by yourself. But seeing a game by himself or with like a easy AI,
It's gotta be against an AI, but it's so funny that I would love to see someone
That's
who
hilarious.
does pull that off. I mean, not that he's obviously being joking that it's new meta, but at the same time, like if you had a close board that's not too far, maybe you could funnel it in. So I don't know, but probably not very practical. Man, can you imagine if with
is that ethical? Is that ethical?
ethical?
If you were like,
Ethically
hey,
sourced?
no.
Let me throw this to you guys. Would professional scouts be a game changer if you could pick up boar?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yes.
yeah.
What?
What if
100%.
What if like there's like a
Would that be too much? Would that be too would that be too broken though? Because
That might be.
professional scouts right now is like I think one of the least used techs in the game, if not the least used tech right now. Would that overdo it? Because only some civs would benefit from it too.
I don't know. Like it would have to
What's
be.
the
it had to
cost
be,
on that? What's the cost?
Yeah, it
on
had to
that?
be.
It's
It had to be a
pricey.
special tech.
It is
Special tech
pricey.
for your
Professional scouts is already super duper expensive as is, and takes a while to upgrade. I forget the price of it, but it's a lot. It's a lot of gold.
Professional
Well, like-
scouts. What is it? 275 gold. You know, maybe.
'Cause that's a lot of gold. No one uses it anymore. Even the Malian like meta of using it has died off because it's just too expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would be insane. Like if you're against
That's so
the Roos
strong.
to like deny them like that boar and bring it home. It'd be really interesting. Like there's got to be a way to balance that.
Yeah, because I feel like right now professional scouts is just dead, and I feel like I have hounded on this tech for so long. This whole podcast life, I've hounded on this tech because I love it. It just isn't used and it's not viable.
Yeah.
Seeing this like little pig poll just makes me think like, oh, that'd be kind of fun if you could pick up. Like, I mean, because you got a couple problems, right? You still have to kill the boar somehow, right? Before you can bring it home. So how do you do that? Like, do you send military units over there? Like a couple nights. So you can't just do this right off the bat, right? So that means you can't just.
Nights for the scout.
So that means you're gonna have to get professional scouts to do this later, then, in theory. So I don't feel like the timing push on that would be crazy. You'd have to actually spend a lot of effort to get that board down and then carry it home. I don't know. I think if you added that as professional scouts, and if carrying the board made you really slow.
Little other tweak to it. I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah, it'd be kind of funny to watch a little bit of Grand Theft Porky, like people fighting over, fighting over
I
the
think
boar.
when you pick up the deer, it slows down your scout. I would imagine that if you pick up the boar, it would slow your scout down even more. So I think there's ways you can make this maybe a reasonable, and then you could leave the price point where it's at. Because it's already 270 gold. I don't know.
Yeah, they got to find a reason to make this.
Bitterland, if you have any ear on the devs, I have an idea. Shout out to Bitterland. We love that guy. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be fun. That comes to mind because that is a fun. This is the guy drawing the pig over is absolutely hilarious. But
that is insane. Like that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. I would have never thought about doing that.
I know. I would. One thing I've noticed actually is that people like drawing the board to aggress other people's villagers. I've noticed more and more. Mm-hmm. And that's something I've never done. Actually, I'll be honest, guys. I just don't do much with the board, like hardly ever.
Yeah, I need to do more with it.
I mean, I've been playing Ottomans and Abbasids. So.
Yeah, same. But like even when I was HRE or when I play French, I don't go for board very often. I feel like the only civ that
French a little bit.
French a little bit.
French is pretty good with the board.
When I play French, I don't think about it. If I think of a civ that's going to go for boar, I think of Roos, and that's about it. Yeah. Most other civs, I don't think typically go for it too often.
You do want to. I mean, you want to take it. The French is a good one for that.
French is most.
They do want to go out on the map.
Yeah, your knights can actually just kill it.
I'll be honest, besides French and Ottoman, or French and Roos, English has got farms at home. They're not going to want to leave their base.
Yeah, not really. Yeah, English not really going for it.
What other civs are there?
I've seen Mongols do it. I've seen Mongols. Yeah, like make a girl. Yep. But sometimes, a lot of times, Mongols, they'll like if their gur is like not being used, they'll bring the gur right next to it. They'll move it next to the with 8 vills and just kill it.
So
and,
3 civs, 3 civilizations that I know would go for the boar. That's I can't think of many others. I mean, I guess China could. I guess you see China do it every now and then.
Yeah, I think China. Yeah, China, because that food is amazing.
Map control and your civilization can take it. It's always a good.
Maybe that's something I need to work on. Maybe I should go for boar more often. Obviously, I've been playing a lot of Abbasid, so I'm not going to get that because I got the berries. But maybe when I'm not playing them, I should focus on maybe looking at where that boar is at. It's tricky though because you're out in the open, right? And it's really risky. It's a risky food source. But man, if you
tower it up, tower it up.
I really would like to see professional scouts be able to pick up the boar and maybe tweak that just a little bit. I think that could open up.
There's a good idea in there.
Bring down the movement speed of the scout by like half. It's like super slow coming back.
Super slow, but maybe you got a chance you can like disrupt Roos a little bit because they're still just so good. If you could just go under Grand Theft Pig, I mean, Grand Theft Pork Chop, man, I'd love it. Yeah,
Grand Theft Porky, Grand Theft Pork Chop.
Well, it makes for such good TV too. When you're watching a Grand Theft Venison, it's so much fun to watch that.
It's so disrespectful.
I love it. I love it.
It's so rude. It's like, excuse me.
I was so sad when it was the Malians who had that most recently with the venison boom. I was sad that it was Malians, but I was glad to at least see the tech being used. Now it's just not used at all.
Not really.
Last post. King is so underwhelming. This has come from I Am Piro. King is so underwhelming in the late game as the English king. So I really like playing English Abbey, and it's pretty good till early castle. And all of a sudden in Imperial, it has like no impact on the game. I know the landmark doesn't need to be good in all stages of the game, but I hope we get slight buff to a king, maybe like mobile network of castle ability or something. I'd love to see it. I can't help comparing it to Con where it's busted in Imp, but yeah, it's Con all right. Wow, this English is hard to read a little bit. I'm sorry. It's just hard for my brain to focus on it. But anyways, the gist of this is that King is underwhelming in the late game. What do you guys think? Because I don't necessarily disagree.
Well, I'm looking at the first comment and it brought up something I don't know if it was a hot take or not, but he's saying the King is already better than the Council Hall late game. So the King makes men-at-arms spam even more deadly, which I didn't think about.
I don't know. The crossbows from the Council Hall, though.
Yeah, but like I guess after a while though, like it's nice, but like I would assume by Imperial you would have enough archery ranges to just pretty much get the same effect from it. So I would assume that. I mean, and then also too, the King is awesome, but also the Abbey of Kings. I mean, the Abbey. Oh yeah, I guess it is Kings, not memes, but yeah, Abbey of Kings. I guess people forget you can also heal up. Like you can heal.
Well, they heal off the King. I don't think they heal off the landmark anymore.
Oh yeah, they do. The landmark does. Landmark does. I saw.
Yeah.
Nope. That's why the landmark is viable because it does both. Because I saw Blade just a couple days ago, and I actually I put this in the comment like, wow, that does a lot. He was holding off of a Mongols raid, had a couple of spears, and after he fended off the Keshiks, sent his 2 or 3 like really weakened spears next to the Abbey, healed them right back up again. And I was like, it was really quick too. And I even put in his chat like, man, that's actually really big. And he even said too on his own, like, wow, those spears got healthy like really quick from the Abbey. Like that actually is a really cool thing. So it's both. It's both.
So are we completely disagreeing with this guy? Like actually, the King scales better.
It might be okay. Yeah, it might scale better.
And frankly, around eventually. You got to get there because. Yeah, Council Hall is still really good in Castle. Also to get your like upgrades faster as well.
Yeah. Well, and not to mention like English doesn't exactly need any help in the late game.
Yeah, dude, their late game is
like it's like them and China up top in late game, and then maybe like Ottomans if they can get rolling with their bombards. Or it's about as good as you can get.
I think Abbey is better in Imperial. I think Abbey would be because, like, the way that the point he brought up with the King with the men-at-arms is actually really good. Like that, I mean, because you can basically infinitely spam out. If you have enough farms with enclosures, you can infinitely spam out men-at-arms. And that King, if you I guess not get him killed. And does he scale up with Price?
I don't think he prices up, but I think he does.
Because he's pretty cheap. The King is also pretty cheap. Like maybe before he was kind of like he's more underwhelming. But also I've seen builds where people go Abbey of Kings and then they make a couple stables and they go into Castle Age and they just like use the King with like 10 knights and then just like raid with the king like nonstop.
I have a lot of fun in English mirrors going Abbey of Kings.
Yeah, I like Abbey of
Drop
Kings.
the king on the longbows.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, that's rough. It's actually really strong too. So actually, I think the king is, I guess, as just a single unit, maybe a little underwhelming, but no, I think the king actually scales better, in my opinion. Maybe not. Maybe like for late game, I think it scales better than the council.
Yeah, and I don't think he's. I'm looking at AoE 4 World. I don't think he costs more throughout the ages.
I don't think he does.
They made him cheaper. Like he's actually like really economical. Like he's king. A very exactly. This is the beggar king, dude. This is beautiful though. One thing, like I want to see the Wingard Palace get a little bit, or the Wingard get.
Dude,
no one gets Wingard anymore.
That used to be the go-to, and now the Berkshire. It's kind of like
Berkshire. It's a full circle.
Swapped. Yeah, it's come full.
Berkshire was really good, and then the Wingard
of the great circle of life.
Berkshire. Yeah, what a time!
What a time! All right, guys. This is a banger of an episode right now. We're going up for like 3+ hours. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll get to our extra sheeps. I think we'll finish up here. We've had a lot of discussion today. So.
Oh yeah.
Hello, Socerton here again. We've got a couple of announcements to give your guys' way. Number one, holidays are coming up, especially if you're an American. Your Thanksgiving is coming up real soon. As it turns out, the 3 main hosts on this podcast, and fourth if you count Caleb, are all American. So our Thanksgiving is coming up in November in like a week or two. Thankfully, next episode will not be impacted by that. Our recording dates are actually kind of on the opposite weekends of when that'll be. So will be normal schedule for the rest of the month. However, for December, we don't have a weekend where we record on Christmas weekend, but New Year's weekend, the following weekend, is supposed to be a recording date. So we kind of looked at our plans. We are not going to have an episode for New Year's Eve. We're not doing a New Year's Eve episode. We actually have lives, believe it or not. I've got family coming in town, for instance. We're actually going to be doing things. We're going to be busy. So do not expect an episode to end the year. That said, we want to do something special. So we're going to have another live episode coming out, and that'll be on the 17th of December. I believe let me double check the date. I'm pretty sure that's the date. 17th of December. Yes, that's Sunday. Sunday, the 17th of December. We will be doing another live Extra Sheep episode, probably hosted either by my Twitch or Sir Nevels' Twitch accounts. So keep an eye out. I know we used Beale's the first time. We're going to kind of rotate through them just so we can kind of, promote our own Twitch streams, just give ourselves a bit of a pat on the back and get people to kind of come follow us as well. So I'll probably be on either mine or Sir Nevels. Keep a lookout for that. If you haven't followed us on Twitch yet, you totally should. Sir Nevels hasn't been streaming as much, but Beale and I definitely have been. So for sure. And you should still follow Sir Nevels too. He does stream. He's just been really busy lately. But yeah, we are doing a live Extra Sheep on the 17th. I think that'll be probably at our normal recording time, which most of you probably don't know what our recording time is. Normally at like 1:45 Pacific Standard Time on Sundays. That's our recording time. So I don't know what that would be with like UTC like -8 or something like that. So it'd be, probably late in the evening for anyone who's in Europe, be early morning. Actually, no, I don't know what time that would be at all. I don't know. All I know is that it's going to be 1:45 Pacific Standard Time. I'll put a link in the description. I'll have something posted. I'll figure something out. I'll be in touch. But we'll be doing live on the 17th of December. So keep an eye out for that. And it's going to be great. We're going to have a big, long episode. I'm sure we're going to have so much to talk about over the next couple weeks with everything. We'll try and do something kind of special with it too. Being like the kind of the holiday episode to finish up this year. We'll do something cool and maybe something special with that. Other than that, things are going great. We're getting close to a full year of the Extra Sheep. I can hardly believe it, but the end of February is going to be our year mark. We'll have to do something special for that too. But yeah, we've been trying. Our goal was to do a live episode every quarter, and it looks like that'll be our one for the winter quarter. So definitely catch us live then. Besides that, my normal shout outs to, of course, Beale and Sir Nevels, those awesome guys. I'm so grateful for them to stick with us for a full year. And I want to shout out Caleb Calamari as well, and Askalad, and even 10-4 Tim. Those guys are, along with my wife and all of us, that's kind of the core of this group. with the Extra Sheep. And I just cannot thank them enough for all their dedication, for just being great friends in general as well. If you guys don't interact with them in any other ways or throughout some of the Discords, I highly recommend you do. Check out their streams. Check out when they're in the chat. Hang out with them. They're such great guys. Can't say enough about them. That said, I think that's most everything I need to cover. Of course, Rising Empires, I always encourage everyone to go check them out. Free tournament. You can join up. You can even win some cash prizes. Really great way to get some experience. They host the low elo tournaments, low elo legends, and the War Chief Club for those who are a little more competitive. I think that's about it. One other thing I do want to mention, I'll probably mention this next episode, but just for a little sneak peek for you guys, we are coming close to 10,000 total downloads of this podcast, which is kind of a big milestone, really. I've been very impressed. We average like 500 downloads per episode. And I just want to thank you guys, the viewer, for wherever you are, from the guy who's in Tunisia to Papa Bear to Mark 2.0 to, Sherman out in England. All of you guys. I recognize so many of your guys' names now through the Patreon, through like my own stream when I'm streaming. You guys are just awesome. Everyone from Sorrow Angel down in Land Down Under. It just amazes me that like we have a worldwide community. I'm very humbled by that fact. All the way out here in the Pacific Northwest United States, with Beale being up in Maine, our boy Sir Nevels coming in from Detroit. We kind of cover the northern half of the United States there. And then just to have all the people from outside the United States, just all of you guys making this great community, making this game what it needs to be. I'm just so glad to have this, and so glad that you guys have, kind of taken to it as well. So thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of the show. We do notice it. We love every single good piece of feedback we get, all the positive thoughts and well wishes. It's all very, very well received by us. We definitely appreciate it. And that said, if you want to leave like a review, I think on Spotify you can leave a review, and same with Apple Podcast. If you want to do that, go ahead. If you want to recommend this show to people who are playing AoE and may not have heard about it, please do so. We'd love to keep growing the community as well, and welcoming especially new players. With the influx of new players, if you're getting family and friends into this game, please send them our way. Like, send them to the Agree at Bar Discord. Oh, I should mention that too. If you haven't joined the Agree at Bar Discord, go and do so. Check it out. It's a great place to meet other guys, and I guess a couple ladies, and play some games. I think it's mostly dudes. Video games are very, very dude centric. We should fix that. But anyways, thank you again for listening. Enjoy the rest of your episode. I'll send you guys back to probably my own voice here in a second for the Extra Sheeps. And we're back. It's time for the final part of this show, where we each give an extra sheep one last little tidbit that we learned this week, or any final thoughts or experiences that we want to share with everybody else. Does anyone have an overwhelming desire to go first today?
I'll just knock mine out.
All right, go for it, Sir Nevels. Go for it.
Yeah, whatever. Only I'm saying now is I want to know, like, pretty much, if the, most of the time you play on a hybrid map or a water map, it's pretty much like, it was always the meta before to go immediate, like, get on wood and immediately make a dock and then try to outboom the opponent with water. But lately, that meta has been failing me. I want to know if that's because back in the day, back in the day, but back like previous metas before, like, we lost water. If you won water, you pretty much won the game. And like you said, soccer team, when you play French, that's not your strategy. And it's actually worked out successfully for you when, like, you kind of just hurry up, try to go feudal, and then get them off, burn their dock down to where they have all this idle economy on the water now. And if from that point forward, you either you go that route, or you try to stop them from hitting feudal age, or just raid them because they have a later age up. I'm just wondering, like has the water meta also make me say that too? I watched the same thing happen with Marine Lord and B earlier, where like B completely won water with the Mongols against, like, had fishing ships going crazy on water. And Marine Lord, this is maybe a skill gap too. I mean, this dude's kind of a psychopath, Marine Lord, but dude literally like won the game with complete losing both ponds on Kaiwasan. I'm trying to say that map right, but it's two big ponds in the center of the map. He lost both, and he still was able to hold out enough on land. And then he had enough, because a lot of times where sometimes you can almost bait your opponent into going heavy on water with military ships, and they'll have a good chunk of their military population being stuck on the water kind of idle because they are now and now you can just outmass them on land and push them back on land, burn down their docks, and then you just build up a dock behind it. And you just you basically going for water later. Like you let them just over commit to water while you commit mainly to land, and then just overtake their water. Now you have an economic shift. You have an economic advantage with villagers. You have an economic military advantage with land units. And now you're just kind of creeping up because now they're so worried about getting established on land. Now you're creeping up and making a dock and taking over water. Like, I want to know, do I suck or has the meta changed a little bit on water?
I have a thought on this, actually. I think part of it is that the water maps you are playing now are not the same water maps that have been played more recently in previous seasons. So Baltic, Boulder Bay.
Hybrid.
You're on hybrid maps, not full water maps. And that makes a difference because with a if you're on Boulder Bay or if you're on a Baltic or you're on maybe.
You didn't say the title right. You didn't say the title right.
Oh, sorry, Boner Bay. Or if you're on perhaps, if you're on Warring Islands or something like that. Or should I say Whoring Islands?
Whoa, Socerton! Whoa!
I can't believe it.
Oh my goodness, you have children.
If you're on one of those full water maps, I would say winning water is the must, right? Because if you lose that, there is no other avenue. But on Golden Heights, our Lord and Savior Biddlin, who created this wonderful, beautiful map, the man who created this is the perfect hybrid map in a lot of ways. And now some of the ones you mentioned, like Kawasan, again, two small ponds that have deep sea fish, but aren't everything, right? There's a back and forth. There's a window. You can, when you lose water, there's still, or if you don't go out at all, there's windows into what you can do. Like Holy Island, people might think that that's a big water map, but there's so much other food. You watch me come back on that because there's so much other food sources. There's double the sheep on that map, I believe. You don't have to rely. I mean, what you're losing out on is you're not going 2 TCs essentially, because with a normal full water map, depending on how things play, essentially it's you're going down a TC, right? Yeah. But there's still a time frame there if it's not an all water map where you can punish the person for going greedy because it's going to slow them down. Otherwise, there's a window. So I think the big part of it is that the map design around water and what maps have been in the pool has improved greatly. That's my 2 cents on it.
That makes sense though, because I'm probably used I think my highest win rate last season was it's not Mediterranean anymore. Oh my goodness, my brain. The map that became Baltic. There we go. Yeah. Excuse me. Yes. Baltic. Yeah. That was my highest. Yeah. Now we're out of control.
You unleashed a monster.
Baltic. Yeah. That's probably my highest. I had a straight up built-in HRE strategy where I just went minute arms and spanned them on land, and it's not working out too hot for me on these little hybrid maps. And I'm like, wait a minute, do I suck? What happened? That makes sense though. He said the map pool it might look like you can just do the same thing on this map too, but it's not the same. You really have to be more conscious of how you handle water.
Nice.
But yeah,
I think it's the maps. I really think it's the maps. It sounds like Beale agrees.
That's what I was gonna say. It's a different water map pool.
I gotta transition my game here. I gotta evolve it a little bit.
I say it's a better map pool. It's a better water map pool. It really is. It really is.
I agree.
I like Boulder Bay.
Yeah, a little Boulder Bay. Can't do a little fresh off the pool, fresh off the cold pool, Boulder Bay.
Gosh,
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, I like it. On water, it looks like Beale's extra sheep is going to have something to do with that as well. So we'll go ahead and move on to Beale.
Casting, when we were all doing the casting a couple weeks back for Low Elo Legends, we did see some deli on water games, and I don't see it that often, so I was getting excited, they're fishing ships. They can shoot arrows. And I was getting pumped for the first encounter of deli running into their opponent on Holy Island. And quickly learning that the fishing ship arrows do no damage against any sort of ship. It's just tickling the archer junks, and it was one of the most disappointing things I've seen. Because in my brain, it's deli fishing ships shoot arrows. Why are they considered so bad on water? And Yeah, the arrows do nothing.
And
I think they're pretty good for like Dark
Yeah.
Age, right? They're kind of decent for Dark Age.
I mean, you could maybe harass the other fishing ships. It might do more damage against those, but against any sort of navy, it's just
it's not.
You're done for.
I think it's been common knowledge for a long time that Delhi is one of the worst civs on water.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people don't use the scholars enough in the water too. I think if you plant a scholar in there to like increases the production time or something. Like it's like a lot.
I did
like,
learn that
like,
fishing ships have the revision range of a scout, though. I learned that recently.
Yeah, I feel like
a lot.
Yeah, Delhi's like uncracked. Yeah, we still got to figure out what Delhi is like. I feel like a lot of people are still like, well, Delhi has this on water. It's insane. Like even like 2 years into the game's production, we still like no one uses it.
No one knows. Yeah, no one knows.
No one knows. Still unexplored territory.
I realize that every single civ has like different upgrades to all their stuff, and I've only know like a fraction of them. I still haven't. I haven't gone that deep because we don't play full water maps normally. How often are you really on water, like Warring Islands? That was one of the Empires at War games. One of the last ones was a Chinese mirror. And it was a full-on water fight, and it was kind of fun to watch, frankly. It was kind of fun to watch. It was just because it was a water game with water units that mattered. And it's like, okay, that changes the game's just very different. But I didn't think it was just like a bad thing to watch. It was enjoyable to see. But
I agree. All right. Bring it back.
Yeah, that was a fun series to watch. That was definitely a good tournament. My extra sheep today. This is for all the younger players who maybe don't know much about China yet, or maybe they want to, or they don't quite understand a couple things. This is kind of a fun little tidbit that I finally, like, I don't play China much, but every now and then I do. And I knew that there was a way to get the village up really quick. For those who don't know, a village is like 4 houses in one. You can get that up and you don't have to worry about building a house for a while. And it also has a little place your villagers can go and run and hide into when you're getting attacked. It's kind of neat, kind of a fun thing to have. I've never understood how you get enough wood early game to do that and also build a mill and get on the sheep in time while also getting your IO out, your Imperial Officer. So I wasn't too sure. And I finally saw it. Like, I was casting someone's game and looking at it, and I kind of just watched the Dark Age opening, and it just clicked. I just saw it. And here's how it works. You rally all your villagers onto the wood to start, and they're going to do one drop off. Or actually, they're not going to drop off. Actually, this is the trick. They don't drop off at the TC. You get them to chop down, and right before they drop off the TC, you go and have them build a mill. Again, they don't drop the materials off at the town center. By now, the first thing you do is you queue up a Imperial Officer before anything else. So the Imperial Officer comes out, the 6 villagers you have go onto wood. Before they drop off the TC, they go and build a mill. The IO has to immediately get, you got to make sure the IO is supervising that mill the moment you even put up the outline of it as they're building it. And then when they're done building it, they'll go to the closest resource. They'll drop their wood off at the mill, at the food mill. They get the bonus still from the IO supervising it. Then they move on to the sheep. You don't rally them to the food, or they will not do it. So you just have them build the mill, and then they automatically go towards the nearest food resource. And they drop off their wood before anything else when you do that right. And that works for many other things too, but especially with the IO supervising it, it gets that wood bonus, which gives them enough wood to build a village as well as having the mill up. And to me, I was just like a little light bulb went in my brain as I was like, oh, that's how that works. That's really ingenious. It's like a little kind of trick of the sorts. Really specific. You have to kind of know what you're doing to do that though. So again, you send your 6 villagers onto the straggler tree. You immediately queue up an IO. Right before they go to drop off that wood at the town center, you build a mill, make sure that the IO is immediately supervising it, and then by the time the mill goes up, they drop off their wood, and then move on to the food of their own accord. You then have enough wood, you can grab a vill and build the village. But that works for other production buildings too, because sometimes when you queue up a production building, I probably BCQ'd, let's be honest.
That's insane, dude. That makes so much sense you say that. Like the fact that, because I heard if you make production buildings, you don't have to. If you don't queue, if you have if I'm pulling off of wood to go onto gold, I don't need to queue. I can queue them to build the mill, but don't queue them onto the gold vein. They will do it automatically, and then they'll drop off whatever extra wood they have into the mining camp, and then go on to the gold. So you can save yourself a little bit of extra resources if you do that right. Now, sometimes I will say, if you do that next to like the deer and there's a berry patch nearby, they might do something kind of wonky. So you got to be kind of careful of that. But in regards to the China build and how they do that, that is how they do that. And it can have some implications for other civs and when you're trying to build new resource production buildings as well. Mm-hmm. So that's still crazy though. That's like, this is why this is a game for scholars.
That really, I know. I can't wait to get my PhD in Byzantines.
That is something. Because like that is like when you figure that out, like that little small detail will make a difference right there.
Yeah, and it does. It's like just enough wood to be able to build a village instead of having to go with a house, which just it just gives you. It's like it like doesn't matter super much in the long run, but you're getting a little extra resources out of that. You're getting a little bit of a bonus.
Early, I believe so. Yeah, early, I believe it can make a difference
because then you're not spending as much wood on houses, and you've got one of those up already. And it's just you're just getting a little extra boost right off the bat. So dude, that's my extra
sometimes sheet. I think I'm not qualified for this game. Sometimes
I know.
I'm like, dude.
That's why, like, that's why you mentioned like we need to get the diamond. Like we really do, because I feel kind of guilty sometimes being the content creator and talking about this game like I know what I'm talking about, and I feel like I do. I feel like I do know what I'm talking about, but then I hear like someone like Blade saying, "Oh yeah, if you're gold, you're trash." Like he didn't say that in those terms, but like he's saying like you're not good if you're gold.
It's like an unspoken thing though.
When they're up in Conquer, they just look down at us. They don't intend to, but like they totally do. They don't think golds are good at all.
Beastie literally calls gold players like he's like, "Oh, that player's probably gold." I'm like
it's an insult, and I'm sitting here going like, I feel like guys who get to gold like who have lives and children and are trying their best. Like there's a lot of effort in that. It's very respectable. If you're gold 3,
gentlemen, diamond next season. We're all gonna be diamonds.
Yep.
I like that. I like that. Like that right there motivates me to get in. Like we're all going for diamond. I'm going for. I will
definitely go
all
for
of
it.
us. All
it's gonna be so hard. I hope I can do it.
I mean, I got a week on this season. I got 1 week on this season. I got
my goal will be plat 2. My goal is plat 2 this season. I am at plat 1. I will get to plat 2. I'm gonna just baby steps.
If you're plat 3, you're getting diamond. If you make it to plat 3, you're getting diamond. Because like the same thing with like gold 3 and platinum. Like
it's
that's
like right
almost
there.
The same rank. It's the same rank.
I agree.
It's
I agree 100%.
Once you're plat 3,
and to anyone who is in like gold 2 or 3, I do think that's a very respectable amount of play. You know the game. You know your at least one civ really well. Like you've taken effort to learn. You are not some silver. I've seen what low elo play looks like. Just saying. Like we all have casted the lowest of the low games, and I've seen even worse than that. There are some people who are genuinely bronze players, and if you're bronze, that's okay. You'll learn very quickly, and you'll get up to silver and gold very fast. Because
I was a bronze player.
It takes some effort to get up there. You have to really learn the game, and this is not an easy game. I hate when Conquer guys. I do kind of dislike when they're like, oh yeah, they're just a gold. It's like no, that's like they probably have a good game sense. They probably just don't know how to execute it under pressure very well. Like genuinely,
you gotta play with a chip on your shoulder. Like okay, I'll show you. That's the motivation.
Like I just feel like it's like sometimes I've seen high level players go, if you're gold, you don't really think about this or know this, and I'm kind of like, well, actually, I know a lot of gold guys who do. It's a matter of execution. They just don't have the bandwidth to do all that at once. Like not that the game is an APM game, but there comes a point where like you can only handle so much incoming information and deal with it. Even if you know strategically what the right answers to every question would be, if you're on a time test, how many questions are you gonna get through? Like the pressure is there, you know. It's
every time players get like the ACT over again. It's like we're just like you know.
All this to say that I appreciate other gold players. I see what it's like. I know what it's like. We're all conquerors when we look at it post facto, right? We're all conquerors when we're looking at it. Like very rarely do I ever sit there and just scratch my head going, how the heck did I lose this? Like oftentimes I know what I did wrong. I can look at my own replays and kind of diagnose where I was missing things. Like I was floating a little bit here. I needed to refocus my attention on this, and I kind of spent too long on that. Like gold is an acceptable level to be at. Gold is actually the average. Believe it or not, if you're at plat 1, you're above average as a player. Over half the player base is way below you. So
I love it.
Anyways, that's my second rant.
That's when some of myself before I go to bed tonight. Some of myself before I go to bed. Like, actually, I'm better. I'm actually above average.
So. Yeah, you're above average, Sir Nevels. All right, guys. Well, this has been the Extra Sheep, the unofficial Age of Empires 4 podcast. I think we'll call it there. It's a gorgeous fall day out here. We're just getting tons of rain. I'm sure Beale's getting lots of rain. Sir Nevels, I don't know what the heck Detroit looks like this time of year.
This is Michigan. I don't know what
always gross this time of year. I don't know.
Who knows, dude? This is the most dynamic state. This is a variant. This is a variant civ. This is a variant civ. Who knows?
Today we learned that Detroit is a variant civ. If anyone that wants to join our Patreon, we've learned there that they have a variant of variant civ for deep dish pizza. So
most definitely,
fun stuff.
Definitely.
All right, well, everyone have a good day. Thanks for listening.
It was a good time.
See ya.